Good morning, Raptor freaks. It's Friday, TGIF, and the Raptors are playing tonight against the Utah Jazz here in Toronto at Scotiabank Arena. Also, the Raptors 905 will play a second game 2 nights in a row against the College Park Skyhawks at Paramount Fide Food Center at 7:30 also. Both games are theme game nights. Yeah, first one for the Raptors it's that 2000s night. So we're going to go in a time capsule and go back to the decade of the 2000s in the Scotiabank Arena tonight for the Jazz game. And then out at Paramount, they're doing Women's Empowerment Night, and they're going to have women involved in the game with Lindsey Dunn calling the game tonight for the 905. So, yeah, 905 played last night against College Park and lost. We'll cover that game today also. So, yeah, lots to do on the stream today. 2 previews and a reaction, and then all the other stuff we do in between. That's right. Let's go, Raptor freaks. Whoa! All right, we're going to start off today with the injury, the latest lineup news for both the Utah Jazz and the Toronto Raptors tonight. In fact, it's very extensive. There's quite a bit of planning that's gone into this back-to-back for the Raptors with tonight and tomorrow against the Wizards. So we'll go over it right now. Chris Boucher is probable for today's game tonight. He had his wisdom teeth extracted from his mouth in the last couple days. This is why he was not at the We the World Gala the other night, because he was recovering from dental surgery on his mouth to get his wisdom teeth taken out. So Chris is probable. Now, Darko, in his interview yesterday at practice, spoke on Chris Boucher and him not playing right now. And he said exactly what I've been saying to you guys about why Chris is not getting into games recently. It's because Darko knows Chris really well, and he understands what he offers to this team. And at this point in the season, much like last season, there's a discovery phase right now with young players and giving them more time to develop and show what they can do. So he said this very explicitly in the interview yesterday, straight from the horse's mouth. Coach Rajakovic is not playing Chris as much because he's a known entity of what we know he can do for our team. And it's not, we don't really need to try and discover him because he's been on this team for a long time. And Darko also reiterated, Chris is a great professional, a great veteran on our team, and he understands the situation. So there's no issue here, guys. But Chris did get his wisdom teeth pulled. So who knows? He may actually have to play tonight because there are quite a few people missing. So we'll have to see. If Chris doesn't play, it's probably because he's still recovering from his dental surgery. If he does play, well, it's because we're short and we don't have a whole lot of people to play in the game tonight. So we may need him. Abaji is out for the game tonight for sure on his ankle. He took the walking boot off in practice, and so he was able to move around without the walking boot. He's closer to coming back than some of the other guys. But yeah, Abaji is still out for tonight for sure. RJ Barrett is going to get a rest night tonight, guys. Him and Jakob Poeltl, same condition. We will not see Poeltl and Barrett against Jazz tonight. They will be taking a rest day for this back-to-back, but they will be playing tomorrow night, guys, against the Wizards. So I'm going to guess this right now, that they're going to take the night off tonight, Barrett and Poeltl. And tomorrow night, we're going to see Barnes and Quickly take the night off against Washington on Saturday night. So this is kind of the phase of the season when we did this in the past, where main players on back-to-backs are not playing both nights of the back-to-backs. And, well, RJ and Jakob will get Friday night off. Tomorrow night, it'll probably be Scotty and Emmanuel getting the night off. So no Poeltl and no Barrett tonight, guys. So we'll go over what I speculate the starting lineup for the Raptors will be tonight. Jonathan Moba will not be playing tonight also. He has a nasal fracture from the blow he took to his nose where he bled all over the court in the last game. And, well, his status will be updated in about a week from now. That is from Lindsey Dunn reporting that. So, yeah, just so y'all know, Mobo is out tonight. No Mobo. Brandon Ingram's still out, and Darko gave the 2-week assessment yesterday on where he's at. He said, well, he's still going to be out for another 2 weeks. So the first 2-week assessment came in yesterday. He's progressing. He is doing better and better. He's progressing as expected, but he is still limited to just individual work and practice. He is not practicing with the team. And, well, we're going to hear again about Brandon in 2 weeks from now. So we'll have to see. I think it would be nice to see Brandon play a couple games for the Raptors right at the end of the season. Hopefully, we'll see that happen. We'll have to see. Grady Dick is also on a schedule to be announced or like to come back to, and his next time we'll check in with him is in 10 days. So Grady is also out for at least 2 more weeks, guys, is what they're saying on ESPN's website, and the injuries. So Grady Dick is not going to be playing tonight for sure. Also, Sham Shea, of course, out for the season with an MCL tear. That's the rest of the injuries for the Raptors. So that's a lot of names on the list. So definitely no Oshai, RJ, Jakob, Jonathan, Brandon, Grady, and Ulrich, and maybe Chris. Chris may be playing. So who are we going to start in case of all this? Well, Emmanuel quickly should start at point guard. We should see Jacoby Walter starting at shooting guard. Scotty Barnes up in the front court, maybe with Orlando Robinson. And who knows? I mean, after that, they could go crazy and they could maybe throw in AJ Lawson into the starting lineup for his great work in Orlando in the last game, hitting some big shots late in the game. I could see them starting AJ Lawson at the small forward with Scotty and Orlando at the 4 and the 5. So that's my speculative starting lineup for today. IQ, Jacoby, AJ, Scotty, and Orlando. That's who I think they'll start tonight. And, otherwise, off the bench, we'll have Jamal Shed. Jamison Battle played last night in the 905 game, so he has returned to action from his broken nose. He did wear a mask, and we'll talk about this a little bit when I do the reaction on the 905 game. But yeah, they're a little short-staffed, and in some ways, they're also going to need the newly acquired Colin Castleton tonight also, probably. So it'll be very interesting to see how guys get diverted, because honestly, the 905, they're not trying to win on 905 right now. And everything that is needed, it comes up to the Raptors team just to make a roster that can play. So we'll have to see who's available for what and where and how and who. Now, this is true. Garrett Temple is back with the team from the pregnancy of his wife, so he will be available tonight. So you could add his name into the mix for possibly playing tonight. So we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. The Raptors are going to be having a bit of a short crew tonight for the game. Utah Jazz are similar, though. They have a lot of people on their injury list also. Keontae George has an illness currently this week. He is questionable for the game tonight, so we'll see if he plays. He hasn't been playing a whole lot recently because he has not been totally healthy. Jaden Springer is questionable for the game tonight due to a back injury. So we'll see if he plays or not. Lauri Markkanen is already ruled out for the game tonight. He has a back injury, so no Lauri Markkanen. John Collins also ruled out due to back injury. He will not be playing tonight for sure. And Jordan Clarkson is out to a foot injury. So those 3 big players for the Jazz are not going to be playing tonight for sure. Markkanen, John Collins, and Jordan Clarkson. They are out for sure. Also on the injury list, Taylor Hendricks, who's been out for a bit now since November. He had a broken right leg. And they're also reporting that Elijah Harkless has been called up from the Salt Lake City Stars to be on the Jazz right now. So that's the injury news with them. Quite a few questionables and outs for the Jazz. So who are the Jazz? This is the first time we're going to see the 15-47 Jazz. They have a worse record than us. ESPN matchup predictor is predicting the Raptors have a 71% chance to win this game tonight. We're at home. And, well, I'm going to tell you the ref crew in a sec, and you'll hear about that. But I'm just saying, Raptors fans that want us to lose, even with RJ and Pirtle sitting out and Grady and Oshai and all them hurt, it doesn't matter. We're going to try and win tonight. And, this is the thing. Like, they alluded to this in the practice interviews yesterday that, they asked Scotty and RJ straight up, how does it feel to be taken out right before the end of the game and sit and not be able to be out there and try and win the game for the team because you're getting sat at the end of the game? And they said, well, it is annoying and it's kind of weird. But it's also, we understand the whole scheme of the things in the bigger picture. And all 3 of the interviews yesterday with Darko, RJ, and Scotty, they said, we're all building to a championship team. That's what they said. Each one of them said the words championship team. And they understand there's a long-term and short-term goals to it. And some of the short-term goals right now are to get these young players better in late-game clutch situations. So this pattern that we saw in the Orlando game earlier this week may very well be showing itself over and over again. But this is the thing. If Jacoby Walter is going to be like that, I think we can still win games, even if we bench our starters for the last 5 minutes of the game, because we have a very capable young core coming off the bench with Jamal Shed and Jacoby Walter leading it. So we'll have to see how it goes tonight. There are overtures that this is going to be a strategy that the Raptors employ for a lot of the rest of the season. So we'll just have to see. Darko did say that he made that decision to do that in the last game on the fly in the middle of the game. Now he's saying that he made the decision, but I still think that there's direct pressure from people like Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri to have him do that. And that in some ways, if Darko really was being truly himself, he'd be playing to win every single game no matter what, because that's his nature. But he does understand, unlike Nick Nurse, that Masai Ujiri really wants development. And so he has to listen to the front office, because in some ways they're directing the course of this team. And as they said, it's long-term goals of being a championship team that what they are looking at right now. That's right. So I'll say this is the Utah Jazz's lineup for today. Looks like it might be Isaiah Collier. Colin Sexton will return, so they will have some firepower with him. Walker Kessler will be in at center. He's also a very good starter. It may be likely they may start Cody Williams or Kyle Filipowski. I could see that. KJ Martin's also on this team and has been starting at times, Kenyon Martin Jr. So we'll have to see which one of those guys get into the starting lineup. I'm going to speculate it's going to be Collier, Sexton, Martin, Williams, and Kessler, with Filipowski coming off the bench. Also, Bryce Sensabaugh is on this team, and he's been playing a lot lately for them. Johnny Juzang and Micah Potter, Oscar Tishawabi, and guess who? Our old friend Svi Mihalik is also on this team. Svi is going to be probably playing some minutes tonight against the Raptors. He's had a couple of games recently for the Jazz that have been pretty good. Now, the Jazz have been really, really bad in 2025 so far. They've won 6 games and lost like 30 or something like that. So, yeah, this is not a good team. This team has been losing to everybody left and right, and in some ways very much on purpose. So this may be part of the weirdness of this end of the season. Is, I hate to say it, but just like in Hearts, when you want to shoot the moon, you may be trying to take all the hearts and get that Black Queen, because you're trying to shoot the moon right now for the draft. And when we can play Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Utah, Washington, Charlotte, these are all teams that may have ping pong concerns. And it may very well be which team can be so bad to lose a game. In some ways, I don't like that, because in some ways, our team is not trying to practice to pull punches. And we need to go in there full effect and play to the top of our ability and just win out. I'm just sick of this. In some ways, you want to manipulate your way you finish in the standings. In some ways, I hate that. I think the teams should just play who they are for who they are and finish where they are rightfully supposed to. That's what I'm saying. So the Jazz are probably going to be doing some weird shit like we will be doing too, with benching guys. And who knows? It may very well get to the end of the game is very close, and the very end of the bench of both teams is playing against each other tonight. And we'll have a battle of the end of the bench. Garrett Temple, you may be the MVP tonight. We'll have to see how you do. Although Garrett's smart enough and long enough in this league that he would probably throw the game at the end of the game, knowing what we're trying to do. I don't know. I don't know what to expect with this. Seriously, this is not the normal kind of preview that I've ever done when we have two teams that probably really both want to lose going against each other tonight. So there's your latest lineup news. We'll have to see who's there. Scotty and Emmanuel play tonight, but probably not tomorrow. RJ and Jakob are out tonight. There's our referees. First, we'll go to the G League game out at 9:05. The referees for College Park at Raptors 9:05, 7:30 start at Paramount at Fine Food Center. Biniam Maru is the crew chief, number 45. Ian McClenny is going to be the referee, number 59. And AJ Ganelli's back for the second game also at 62, the umpire. Yeah, Ganelli was one of the refs for last night already for this matchup, but the other two are new coming in. All right, let's do the referees for the Utah at Toronto Raptors game tonight. And our crew chief is the family guy. That's right. Lucky he's a family guy. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Positively and do laugh and cry. He's a family guy. Mark Lindsay, number 29, out of Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania, 18th season in the NBA. His favorite TV show is the one with Peter Griffin and his family, Lois and Meg and Stewie, the family guy. That's right. His favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption. He gets down to that Dave Matthews Band jam. He likes the book Can't Hurt Me. His favorite app is Apple Podcasts. and he most like to visit Rome and go on a family trip to Italy. And his hidden talent is spelling. That's right. Mark Lindsay directs the proactive referee officiating camp, which raises money to benefit underprivileged youth who attend the Treasure Beach basketball camp in rural Jamaica. Lindsay, who is married with 3 children, enjoys reading, working out, bicycling, and yoga. I wonder if his kids are named Meg, Chris, and Stuart. I wonder about that. Yeah, Mark Lindsay, that family guy. That's right. Well, Mark is a very friendly ref to the Raptors today, let's just say. Our record this season is 2-3. We've won 2 and lost 3. We are 55% winning percentage with Mark Lindsay. He's our best winning percentage of all the refs today. And the Jazz are 45%. So 55 to 45 is the split for the Raptors with the crew chief, Mark Lindsay. That's right. The second ref today is going to be one of the Goebel brothers. It's the younger Goebel brother, Jason Goebel, number 68, 9th season out of Miami, Florida. His favorite TV show is Power. He likes the movie Godfather. His favorite musician is Mark Anthony. He likes the book Pirates in Blue. He eats veal parmesan. He likes to watch Netflix. He'd most like to visit Tahiti, and he'd like to roll his own cigar in Cuba. That's right. Jason Goebel is the police officer out of Miami-Dade Police Department, 13 years as a police officer in that area. And his older brother, John, is in his 18th season as an NBA official. So the younger Goebel is going to be our second ref today. And we have had him recently. We've had him quite a few times this year. We are 1-4 this year. 5 games of Jason Goebel this year, 1-4 for the season. We win 48% of our games over his whole entire career. And meanwhile, the Jazz wins 27% of their games. So the Jazz are actually one of the worst teams for Jason Goebel. He does not help them. He does not have a proclivity to help the Jazz, that's for sure. So Raptors get the split 48 to 27 with the second ref, Jason Goebel, former cop from Miami-Dade. The third ref is the should have been a medical student, should have been a doctor, Sayesh Mehta. That's right. In his 5th season out of Baltimore, Maryland, number 82, Sayesh, of course, was supposed to be a doctor. And, well, he quit his doctor's career to become a ref. I'm sure his parents are real proud of that. I know anyway. His favorite TV show is The Office. He likes the movie Slumdog Millionaire. He gets down to that old-time rock and roll with Bob Seger. That's right. Oh, he watched your strut. That's right. That good old-time rock and roll. Shake down, break down, take down. No one wants into the crowded line. That's right. He loves that Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band. That's right. His favorite book is The Alchemist by that guy Paulo. Favorite book, favorite meal, butter chicken with garlic naan. He likes to listen to Spotify. He'd most like to visit Australia, play golf at Pebble Beach, and his hidden talent is badminton. That's right. Mehta, he studied neurobiology and physiology at the University of Maryland and started his officiating career in Maryland's intramural department. His parents are from India and moved to the United States in the 1980s. His father is a retired physician who specialized in internal medicine. Mehta speaks Hindi and Punjabi fluently. So, yeah, Sayesh is the worst ref for the Raptors today. He's in the bottom 10 for all time. We are 1-2 with him this year. We actually did win the last game he reffed this season. We win 33% of our games. We win 1/3 of our games with Sayesh Mehta in his career. Meanwhile, he likes the Jazz. He's got them at a 71% winning percentage. So 33 to 71 for the Jazz with the third ref, Mehta. So, yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, Meatloaf. We've got Mark Lindsay and we got Jason Goebel, but Sayesh Mehta is favoring the Jazz. So there's your ref report for tonight. It's not a bad ref crew, honestly. Mark Lindsay has been very fair to us all season long. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't mind it. Having home court and having a favorable ref crew means I think the Raptors will win tonight. And even if people are upset or mad about that, I'm not. In some ways, this Jazz team has been very bad. In fact, I think they lost the Wizards the last time they played. So listen, guys, come on now. Let's have some pride. Let's not like slump just to lose to a 15-win team just because of some stupid-ass draft plan. No, let's try and win. Now, if they do lose tonight, somehow, some way, well, we'll game into their advantage and say, this is great for us for our ping pong balls. But to me, I have pride. I have pride just like Darko has pride. Scotty has pride. We need to beat the Jazz is what I'm saying right now. So That's where I'm at with it. All right, let's check in on the chat with you guys and see what's going on with the Raptor Freak family. Let's see what's going on. Trevor J is in the house. Commissioner of Fun, Trevor J. Let's see what he's saying. Here's the words of wisdom. The biggest waste of time and energy is to keep trying to explain something to someone who doesn't want to hear it. Remember, one day we're all going to be judged, and the answer for all the wrongs we did in this world to the Father. Wow, that's crazy. You know, that's an interesting thing to say. You know, there really is a split between belief of what is reality right now. There's totally a side that believes in Donald Trump and has a whole crazy fantasy world that they live in right now. And in some ways, that fantasy world has been manufactured by a lot of bullshit put out there to influence these people. Well, listen, they may be so ignorant and dumb and inside their cocoon of their bullshit that they will fight and just deny reality left and right. But reality will come, and it may come at the pearly gates when the day of judgment comes. Because honestly, if you are not working towards your fellow man in love and kindness and compassion, if you are somebody who will want to hide behind security gates and guards and walls to not have to deal with the common man, and you are subjugating them from behind there for your own gain, you will be judged on the final days. Trust me. Thank you for the words of wisdom, Trevor J. We may not be able to get through to them because they're so brainwashed, but they'll get it in the end, is what Trevor's saying there. There you go, Commissioner J. Boom goes a dynamite. Great words of wisdom this morning, Trevor. That's awesome. Trevor's saying that after the Lakers won over the Knicks, LeBron went over to Stephen A. Smith and said, I'm telling you one time, bro, keep my son out of your fucking mouth. Whoa. He did the Will Smith. He got up there in Chris Rock's face and slapped the shit out of him verbally on the sideline of the Laker game last night. Stephen A. Smith just got a new $10 million contract. Woo, you so highfalutin, Mr. ESPN, talking your ass off. And in some ways, man, you ain't saying nothing. It's just like that song. You're talking loud, but you ain't saying nothing, Stephen A. Smith. Well, LeBron said, I will slap the shit out of you, just like Will Smith did to Chris Rock, if you keep talking about my wife's alopecia. That's what he's saying right now. Don't talk about my son. You take his name out of your mouth or I'm going to get you in some ways. I like that. I like that LeBron did that. That's a fatherly duty to protect his son. And well, yeah, in some ways, I have to say this with the Bronny James subject. I was bracing for Bronny 24/7 for the whole entire year. And well, he went away. We did not get him in our face all the time. Maybe some people did because they watched ESPN too much and they saw Stephen A. Smith too much, but not me. And in some ways, I'm proud and happy that I did not have to go through a Bronny 24/7 all the time in my face. So I have to say this. In fact, I've seen some of the box scores with Bronny in them, and he's done pretty good. He's had some 30-point games. But you know what? He's getting the right attention right now. He's not getting a whole bunch of attention. They got all that out of the way at the beginning of the season, and he has not made me sick of hearing about him this season. So I have to say he's putting in his work in the shadows, in the darkness, and in some ways I respect that. So Bronny, maybe you will make the NBA in a way where I will say you're bona fide, but right now you still got to take that long, hard road through the G League and the South Bay Lakers. So yeah, I've gotten some more respect for Bronny over the season because he hasn't been thrown in my face repeatedly. And I like that. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Trevor J saying Collins' first day on the job, he had 29 points, but they took 2 points away from him. Yeah, I noticed that too. He had 29 points at the end of the game, but on the box score, it's saying that he has 27. The debut of our new two-way, Colin Castleton, happened last night at Paramount Fine Food Center. We're going to go ahead and do the reaction to the 905 game right now. He is my number one star of the game in the loss. Colin with 27 points. He played 43 minutes of the whole game, only sat out for 5 minutes. 12 of 18 from the field. He hit his only three-pointer. I was wrong, y'all. I didn't think he had a three-point shot, but he took one and made one. So he does have the threat of hitting a three. 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, a +4 with 27 points in 43 minutes. As Trevor said, he had 29 at the end of the game, so they robbed him of 2 points somewhere in there. Now, the Raptors 905, man, he's the only bright spot for what happened last night. After the first quarter, the Raptors 905 were down by 10. At halftime, they were down by 13. And then at the end of the third quarter, they were down by 23. So they had a 23-point deficit to make up in the last quarter. Well, they tried to. They get crazy in the fourth quarter, and they made up a bunch of it. They outscored the Skyhawks 35-17 in the fourth quarter, but they lost by 3 in the end. It's kind of like when you have a big exam coming up, and it's in like a month from now, and you don't do jack shit for a month. And then like the night before the exam, you cram to study for it. Well, that's kind of how the 905 played last night. They were casual, not really taking the game seriously or doing things right for most of the game. And then they tried to hightail it in the fourth quarter and make up for it and try and win it at the end. The Raptors 905 did not deserve to win this game last night, as the superfan Monique Lawrence said in the chat last night. Is exactly right. Because honestly, the overall game effort was not very good. Castleton was fantastic. He looks great. In fact, I want to kind of see him play for the Raptors tonight and not the 905. In some ways, it was weird because Eugene Omeroy played in this game. He was hurt in the last game, but he played and came back and played in this one. Maybe he was on a minutes restriction because of injury. Maybe he got in the doghouse somehow, but he did not play the whole game. And in fact, it felt a little bit like the Orlando game where we took the starters out with 2 minutes to go again in the last game for the Raptors in this 905 game, because Eugene Omeroy would have helped the 905 win this game if he had been playing in the fourth quarter. But for some reason, he was on the bench the whole entire fourth quarter. I don't know if it's because he was hurt on a minutes restriction or he did something wrong and Andrew Jones was punishing him. I don't know. Either way, Eugene would have helped them win this game and close that deficit. And I don't know why they did not play him. It was very annoying. The second star of the game for me in this one is Evan Gilliard the second. Evan Gilliard was the starting point guard in this game. He 29 minutes, 7 of 13 from the field, very efficient. 1 of 4 from 3, hit both of his free throws, 1 rebound, 9 assists, 3 steals, 3 turnovers. So a 9-to-3 assist to turnover ratio. That's 3-to-1. That's not horrible. It could be better. +6 on the plus minus, and 17 points for Evan Gilliard the second. Yeah, he was an aggressive scorer, and he was trying to score at times when the 905 was stagnating and having trouble. But Gilliard's been very solid in a lot of ways throughout the whole year. I've been very happy with Gilliard overall. But in some ways, he should have been the backup point guard this whole year, and Shed should have been running this team. But, well, the 905 and the Raptors, they're going to do the way they do development and putting players between the two teams, the way they're going to do it. In some ways, I don't totally get their philosophies. I really don't. The third star is Omeroy. I'm going to give Omeroy this third star in 19 minutes. He was 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3, 1 of 3 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 2 turnovers, a -15, which is the worst one on the team. So maybe he wasn't covering some sort of assignment right. And Andrew punished him. I don't understand it, though. 16 points for Eugene in 19 minutes. Yeah, it don't make no sense. Eugene is one of the only defensive presence we have in the paint and also one of the best rebounders. And Sam Hauser's brother was dominating the boards yesterday. And I don't understand that. They shouldn't be letting that Hauser guy get in there and get repeated offensive rebounds on the 905. If Eugene Omeroy had been in there in the fourth quarter, that shit wouldn't have happened. So I don't know what happened to Eugene. Why the hell did he not play in the fourth quarter, Andrew Jones? There's something weird that happened there. It's something very, very weird. Going over some of the other guys, yes, Jamison Battle came back from his injury for the first game, and I feel like the mask was bugging him, man. He didn't have very good vision. He had some weird turnovers, and he had really poor shooting for the start of the game. He kind of came around by the end of the game and made some shots later. But, man, I was really thinking that the mask that Jamison has to wear because of his nose fracture was not comfortable for him. And he did not like playing in it because he wasn't his normal kind of smooth self. Now, I will say this, and Monique brought this up in the chat, saying that when she went to the We the World gala the night before, and her and her sister met Jamison Battle, her sister was gushing about how big Battle is. Like, she didn't realize Battle was such a big guy. I will say this, Battle, since we acquired him as an undrafted free agent last summer after the draft, he has gained a lot of muscle on his body. His shoulders and his arms look bigger than ever, and he is a deceivingly tall guy. He's like 6'8" or something like that. So in some ways, I really applaud Battle, even though he's been out a little bit with the nose fracture, for really working on his body. I think this is something that the Raptors do when they're out and they can't play. They hit that weights hard. If their body part that's hurt isn't a part where it's a part where they can still work out their arms. Because we've seen this with Jacoby. We've seen this with Grady. Now we see it with Jamison. These guys have time out, and all of a sudden they come back with bigger muscles. And this is true. Jamison, if you look at Jamison Battle from the Summer League last year, when he first started playing for us, and you look at Jamison Battle from the game last night, he looks more like a regular NBA-sized forward. He actually has his slight build that he had at the beginning of the season is gone, and he's big and strong at this point. So I like that journey for Battle in growing his body and getting it bigger. 5 for 12 from the field. He was 1 of 6 from three. I'm telling you, he was missing those shots, those 1 of 6 from three, partly because of that mask. The mask he didn't like it. I could tell. 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, a +5 with 11 points for Jamison Battle. Charlie Brown Jr. got the other starter's position, 36 minutes for Charlie, 4 for 17 from the field, 3 of 11 from three, 1 for 1 at the free throw line, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers, 13 points for Charlie. A lot of shots. He had 17 shots. He only made 13 points. Sometimes that's an indicator for me that he's not playing efficient. If you don't have more points than shots you took, then I'm kind of mad at you. So 4 for 17 for only 13 points, Charlie Brown. We really did need you to carry in scoring because we don't have a lot of firepower. It's like, look, they don't have the J-Rooks anymore. They don't have Ulrich Shamshay anymore. And now they don't have A.J. Lawson and Jared Rhoden all of a sudden. It's just the shelf in the pantry of the 905 just keeps getting depleted of supplies. And they really just run with who they got. They didn't even have Frank Kaminsky last night because Frank was out for some reason. So they really were scraping the bottom of the barrel for who they could play on 905 right now. And tonight's not going to be any easier because in some ways they may just share Jared Rhoden, A.J. Lawson, and Colin Castleton with the Raptors tonight, and they're both playing at the same time. Both games are at 7:30 tonight, and you can't clone people and put them in two places. It'd be nice to have 2 Colin Castletons all of a sudden and put one in Paramount and one at the Scotiabank Arena. That'd be great, but alas, that is not in the rules. You can't do that, and I don't know if we've cloned NBA players completely yet. I know we cloned sheep. I know we've done that. Off the bench, Lacey James came in for a 1-minute appearance. I don't know what's going on with Lacey James. Lacey James got brought in to be a backup center, a little bit of bigs for us. We don't play him. I guess he's just a waste. I guess they don't like him. I guess he's not fitting with the culture or he's not doing things right, but they had to play him for a second, just for a second. You know it's bad when Tyler Perry's playing 27 minutes, and that's what happened last night. 2 of 5 from the field for Tyler, 5 of 5 at the free throw line. He had some very key free throws late to try and catch up. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, +7, 11 points for Tyler Perry. Montreal's Quincy Guerriere, 25 minutes with 3 of 10 shooting, 7 points for him, a +2 with 4 offensive rebounds, 7 rebounds altogether, 1 assist, 1 block. Yeah, Quincy, we could have used some more scoring from you for sure. Kennedy Chandler, in some ways, he's just not going all out like he used to. In some ways, he's been dulled. His blade has been dulled. 6 for 10, though, not bad shooting. 1 for 3 from the 3, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 4 turnovers, a 2-to-4 assist to turnover ratio. Bad. A -12 with 13 points in 20 minutes. In some ways, we need Chandler to score a lot, but Andrew Jones is not having his selfish play. And in some ways, he's not even trying to be overly selfish at this point. You can tell. Tyreek Key is still failing, even though it sucks. 14 minutes for him. He only took 1 shot. He made it. But that's it. 2 points in 14 minutes. We need way more production from different people that aren't doing nothing for them. And yeah, 5 rebounds, though, and 2 assists for Tyreek Key. But yeah, it was tough. It's tough. On the other side, looking at the other team, we got to give some credit to Jacob Toppin. The brother of Obi Toppin got 27 points on 11 of 15 shooting. He just got newly acquired from Westchester Knicks because he signed a 2-way with the Atlanta Hawks. So Jacob Toppin was a force. Jordan Bowden was also big time with 25 points on 8 of 13 shooting. Former 905er Kevon Harris came out there and put 10 points in. He wasn't shooting that well, though, 2 of 12 from the field. And then the brother, Sam Hauser, Joey Hauser, came out there and got a double-double, 10 points, 10 rebounds. Yeah, those offensive rebounds on that one possession were awful. Also, we saw a bit of Nikola Jurisic, a good draft prospect from last year. I remember Nako was big on him, but he only came out and shot 1 for 4 with only 6 points off the bench. But yeah, this was a close game. The Raptors 905 had played a little bit better earlier in the game for stretches of time. Then, a 3-point loss is actually a win. And this is bad, man. Now they're 12-13. They have a losing record all of a sudden after being 11-4. That's crazy. They were 11-4, y'all. Now they're 12-13. They've won 1 game and they've lost 9 in their last 10. So they're 1-9 in their last 10. It's really, really sad to see the collapse of the 905. But it's all of their storage coffers getting taken from them, going to the Raptors. Rhoden, Lawson, and then Shamshay getting hurt has been a huge, huge problem. So Castleton is going to fill some of the void of Ulrich Shamshay being out for 905. He was really good, man. He was really good. He was a little shaky at first. And, of course, you can tell he's with new teammates, new coach, new everything. It's going to be a little bit disorienting. And you know what? He played fantastic considering with 27 points. So I'd like to see him get a little more comfortable, and we'll see how much better he can even be. I really do hope he does get time with the Raptors too, because he is a two-way and he should be able to play for them too. We'll see which team he plays for tonight. It'd be very telling. It's very likely he could actually play for the Raptors instead of the 905 tonight. And then Andrew Jones, I have no idea what you're going to try and do to try and win your game against College Park in that case. Seriously. Wow. Wow. All right, let's keep going. Trevor's saying, happy game day. Let's win with whoever we put out there on the floor tonight. That's right. It doesn't matter if it's Scotty and the barbecue crew. It could be Jacoby and his crew off the bench, the J Rooks. That's right. Jamison Battle, are you going to be playing for the Raptors or the 905 tonight? I don't know. In some ways, we're going to have to figure that out. I could go see at the end of the stream. I'll go check with Blake Murphy and see if he has any kind of announcement on Blue Skies about the direction of where the two ways are going to be playing tonight. Because in some ways, this is something we got to figure out. AJ Lawson, Jared Roden, Jamison Battle, Colin Castleton, all could be on either team tonight. So we're going to have to see where they go. We're going to have to see where they go. Some of them may be on one place and one the other. We'll have to see. Yeah, Trevor's saying that Derek White dropped 44 with the win over the Magic. White who? Which White? There's a lot of Whites in this league. Are you saying Derek White? I thought that they played the Sixers last night. I'm confused. Trevor, in some ways, I don't want to do score repeats for other teams. I don't care what the Celtics or the Magic or any other teams do. This is focused solely on the Raptors now. And I know I used to do score updates when I was more at Raptors and NBA, but I don't even know which White you're talking about. And I don't know which game this is. Who played who last night? Let me go look at it on ESPN. You're making me do the research because you're only giving me half of it. Okay, you're talking about Kobe White. See, that's the thing. I thought you meant Derek White. That's the thing. That's why we do full names on this channel. That's right. All right, let's keep going. Infamous saying, salute freaks for Charles Barkley calling out people hating on the great one, Wayne G. Wayne Gretzky? What? Okay, I'm not going to get behind this. I will get behind Charles's other rant against ESPN and what he said. Yeah, I don't even want to bring up Wayne Gretzky. He's a traitor. And I'm not with Charles on that. You could be on it with that, Infamous. That's your right. But I think Wayne Gretzky is a traitor, and he's not great anymore, as far as I feel that way. Barkley, though, had a very good rant on TNT last night about ESPN's over importance on the Lakers and the Warriors in not paying more attention to the Cavs and the Thunder. And I completely agree with Charles Barkley. And he called out Kendrick Perkins specifically. And now there's a little bit of back and forth between Kendrick and Charles, but I love it. I'm totally team Charles. Charles is right. And I'll stand with him on this one for sure. And I'll probably stand with him. No, I won't stand with him on that one, though. The one you're bringing up, though. Mo's here. Good morning, Raptor Free crew. Happy game day. Winnable games. Yeah, I don't know about the 905 game. I don't think the 905 game is winnable tonight, but the Raptors game is, and it should be won. Yeah. I don't know about the 905, though. The 905, the coffers are bare. There's nothing in the pantry. There's no food to feed the kids. And in some ways, it's just sad because Andrew Jones had such promise, run out the gates 11-4, and to be at 12-13 at this point is just sad and pathetic. In some ways, it tells me that the Raptors do not prioritize winning on the G League level. They really don't. There's been a couple times in the last few years where they've made really weird movement calls, and in some ways, they are not thinking about helping the 905 at all. It's really the 905 are there for the Raptors to take stuff from as they need to, what they do. But in that philosophy, it's like, well, what are the Raptors' goals right now? Why the hell should we take it from them to give to the Raptors on the big level? Because in some ways, the Raptors 905 have a better chance of doing something than the Raptors do. But also at the same time, I mean, I get it. Jared Roden, AJ Lawson need NBA minutes over G League minutes. But still, it's tough. It's like, I don't get it. It's like, this is where I'll say what Josh Lewenberg says, pick a lane. And pick a lane on whether you're trying to win on G League or not. Because in some ways, you guys do not help Andrew Jones or that franchise do what they need to do to try and win the G League. They had a really good shot this whole season. But in some ways, well, this is the backups for the Raptors. And they got to come up when they need them. And Jacoby and Jamal and Jonathan and Jamison, well, Jamison's still there. But those other J-Rooks, they're not going down there anymore. And Mobo's hurt now. And Shed and Walter are not going back to 905 for the rest of the season. You can tell. That's just not happening with what's going on right now. So it's tough, Mo. I don't think the 905 have a winnable game tonight because they're going to have even less of a team than they did last night. Seriously, because some of those guys are going to be playing against the Jazz instead of the Skyhawks. Yeah. Smooth saying both teams trying to lose tonight. It's going to be a very weird game to watch. Yeah. Between Utah and the Raptors, they're definitely not totally trying to win. And well, it could be entertaining in some ways. It may be a comedy of errors. It may be kind of really kind of fun to see who's kind of not getting the script and who doesn't give a fuck about this losing mentality that maybe both teams want to do as franchises. I mean, if Jacoby going to do what he did the other night, well, he may be that guy again. You say, yeah, I'm not hearing this. We're trying to win. That's the way I want our players to be. That's the way I am, and that's the way our coaches too. And that's what we want them to be. But we'll have to see. It could be a very strange game tonight. It could be very, very strange. Very strange. I think them taking a lot of their main players like Markkanen, Collins, and Keontae George and Jordan Clarkson not being available. Well, that really makes it really hard for a very bad Jazz team, even worse with their main best stars, like their four best players are out. Yeah, Colin Sexton is like the only bona fide real top player that they have playing right now. And well, that's going to show tonight. Watch. Let's see. Kareem saying, all I want to see is a breakout game from one of our rookies, like a 30-point game from Shed or Jacoby. I have a feeling this is going to be a low-scoring game and that there's not going to be anybody getting 30 points tonight. But I'd love to see what you're saying, too. I think it's more likely that it would be Jacoby, not Shed, that gets a 30-point game. I wouldn't hate this at all. I wouldn't hate Scotty getting a 30-point game tonight in the absence of RJ Barrett either. So we'll just have to see how it all goes down. Play it by ear. And as Darko said in the practice interview yesterday, well, he's playing it by ear during the game and making adjustments on who's going to play what minutes and what in certain ways. They asked Jakob, are you going to be okay with sitting out the end of games more? And as the end games go on, he said, yeah, I'm going to do whatever they want me to do. And he also very much professed he wants to be a Raptor for many years to come. So, yeah, we'll have to see. All the guys are cool with it. You know, like Scotty said in his interview, we were cheering them on and we just want to see our team win. We're not selfish. You don't see anybody over on the bench pouting because they're not closing the game out in quality in the closing minutes. So, you know, they're doing it right. This team has got it all right, and they're all on the same page. It's really interesting how in all three of the interviews yesterday, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, and Darko Rajakovic basically were going over talking points that they all shared because they sounded the same thing. They have a united front. There's no confusion. They're all on the same page, and they're saying the same thing when the reporters ask certain questions. Now, some of the reporters, they're scared to just straight up ask about tanking and just saying, are you guys losing on purpose? Because they know they may get a very angry response from either the coach or the players. So they dance around it now. And it's kind of funny to see how they're trying to get at that subject without going at it directly. And it's funny because, like I said, I feel like they told RJ and Scotty, this is what you say when they ask you about the tanking question, because they had a very, very similar response with certain keywords. And one of them was championship. That was a keyword that was shared in both of them. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see this game tonight. I agree. Both teams are going to be trying to lose to an extent. That's right. Kaz is saying, good morning, everyone. Good morning to Trucker Kaz, TGIF, my good friend. Let's see, on the road again. One more day just to be on the road again, and then you can go home and be home with your friends. I just can't wait to get off the road again. There you go, Kaz the Trucker. That's right. Carlo JS is here. Morning, Lex and fellow freaks. Good morning to you and Santino. I hope that Mr. Santino is doing very, very well right now in this first weekend of March coming up right now. Let's go. Yeah, Smooth saying, don't be surprised if Toronto sits out Scotty in the fourth. Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised about that at all. Emmanuel also. Yeah, we got to be ready for all kinds of weird shenanigans with personnel decisions and substitutions. And, well, RJ and Jakob are not going to be playing tonight for sure already because it is a back-to-back. And there's nothing wrong with doing this. Back-to-back sit-outs on certain nights, and then the next night that certain guys play is totally legal in this league, and it's done by all the top teams right now. Yeah, you see the Jason and Jalen switch out for the Boston Celtics. They have a back-to-back. They don't want to play both of them. One night, maybe Jason Tatum and Drew Holiday are out, and then Derek White and Jaylen Brown are out the next night. And that's just something that a lot of teams do. Well, you don't have to just be a top team to do this. You can be a bottom team too. This is going to be very, very interesting. Smooth saying maybe from the midpoint of the third even. Yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. And in some ways, it may be a war of attrition. It may very well be very ugly by the end, guys. We'll have to see. Either way, it's the Raptors. I love them, and I just want them to win every time, and I'll be rooting for them to win. There's not going to be any false, fake action in my action for what's going on. It's just that I know if they lose, I won't feel so bad because there's also success in that. So we can't lose, Raptor fans. So let's just have fun and enjoy the game as fans of the team and watch them play. That's what I say. We win, we win. We lose, we win. It's just how it is. It's like I love having that perfect, like every outcome is good for us. I love that. Mike's here. Good to see the logical Raptors fanatic back in the chat tonight. Good to see him. What's going on, Mike? Project Truth always. Lex, can I have a big bag of ketchup chips for 50 cents? I want Gannon. I want Gagnon. You want Gagnon? Oh, he's been watching the Kensington Variety VIP Club show. Yeah, that's such a fun show. Yeah, I used to play such crazy games on that show. In fact, and some of the episodes are going to be coming up soon. I'm going to be selling craft dinner for like very cheap, very, very cheap. Of course, the interesting thing about that show right now is it's from 5 years ago today, and it's going to be the 5-year anniversary of COVID-19 pandemic hitting and the world shutting down. And if you want to see what was happening in my life at that time, well, check out the Kensington Variety VIP Club episodes as they come out. It will be documenting my life up until the end of the bubble playoffs against the Celtics when we lost that 7-game series against them. In fact, during those playoffs, I cover every single game. It's a little bit like the very early stages of this show. You can see very, very like pre-Raptor Freak channel, Lex doing Raptors commentary and coverage during the bubble playoffs against the Nets and the Celtics. And I do a show for each one of the games that happen and react to the games during the games. So you'll want to check out the last season of the Kensington Variety VIP Club, the 12th season, which will be happening in the 5-year anniversary of the bubble playoffs later this fall. And that will be the conclusion of that series. But Mike, you like my show, Gagnon. That's right. My good friend Lon. I love you, Lon. And if you want to go meet Lon, go to Golden Patty in Kensington Market on Baldwin Street next to Sea Kings, where he makes the patties. You can go get a good patty from my friend Lon, who's Gagnon. Gagnon, that's right. He's still down there. You can go down there and see him and get a patty from him if you feel like it. You want some 50-cent ketchup chips, Mike? Well, it's too late. I don't work there anymore. But my good friend Hassan still owns the store. And I am on like I'm like reserve. If he's really in trouble, he'll call me and I might come back and work at the variety store still. I'm on good terms with them. Let's just put it that way. The owner is a good friend of mine still. And he is, as I told him, I say, if you ever want me to come back just for fun, just to work in the store for one day, you'll let me shoot the show again, right? He's like, yeah, I'll let you do the show again. It's like they ask me about you all the time. They're like wondering where that guy went that used to do a game show in the convenience store. But yeah, check out the Kensington Variety VIP Club. And thank you to Paul B once again for all the work he's doing to help me get it put on YouTube. He's doing a lot of good work for me, and I really appreciate Paul B. Raptor Freak Paul B. That's right. Let's go. Andrew saying, morning, everyone. Let's go, Raptors. All right, Raptor Freak Andrew. Raptor Freak Rookie of the Year last year. I'm happy Colin Castleton had a good debut for the 905. Yeah, he really impressed me. He was a little shaky at first. His offense was a little off, but he got in a groove by the end of it and really kind of settled down. He's a nice presence in the paint for sure. And he's definitely, somebody we needed on our team for sure. So I like having Castleton around. Hopefully he likes being around on the Raptors organization, and hopefully we'll see him on the big squad too. That's right. Fiercey's here. Good to see MJ. Yes, let's go. Fiercey Salsera. How are you doing? Scotty Barnes, Twitch family 2022. Morning fam and happy game day. I liked how RJ and Scotty had similar answers to Lewinberg's asking about how it felt to sit out in the fourth. What matters is we won. Guess they were advised what to say. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, look, there's been a couple times this season where the tank questions come at our players in interviews, and they have not been nice about it. And they've been kind of like, very, a little bit angry. It's like, no, we're playing to win. I don't know about y'all's tank culture and your tank bullshit. We're NBA players, and we play to win. We don't live our life to be losers and just not try. And that's the interesting conflict of the game tonight. Is that in some ways, like there's the conflict is there. Like, look, Jared Rhoden and AJ Lawson, they want to make the NBA outright. If they're going to get late minutes in this game tonight, they want to be heroes and look good. And that's the way to do it is to win. So there is some really weird kind of everything in this whole picture for this game tonight. And the funny thing is, this is kind of the settings for the rest of the season. So we're going to have kind of weird games like this for like almost 20 games now. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Yeah, they definitely advised Scotty, RJ, and the other Raptors too on what to say when certain questions come their way from the press, because they're all saying the same thing. And you can tell that's what I was saying. They're talking points. Well, this is what you'll say if they ask you this, Scotty. Okay. Yeah, we have a big long-term vision for a championship. And well, this is part of what we got to do right now to get there. They're all saying the same thing. Jakob, Scotty, RJ, Darko. Yeah, they're all saying the same thing. Kareem's saying this is going to be the weirdest stretch of Toronto basketball in the history of the franchise. It could very well be very strange. Yeah. Yeah. Once again, this is what I said in the 905 chat last night. The Raptors are playing at a very high level right now, and they're going to get the easiest part of their schedule now. And in some ways, those are two things that jive for them winning a lot. Seriously, the Raptors are really playing at a very high energy, very high level of defense. And I don't want to take that away. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep it going. And in some ways, I don't want them to lose synergy and connection and things that they built up with the team over the season just because the plan is to lose now. In some ways, you don't want that kind of slumming down. You really, really don't. When a team is playing at a high level, you want to encourage it and get that to grow and get more ensconced as the status quo regular way that they play all the time. And this is the danger about this, guys. Is it like you slump, you don't want to try and play hard? Well, that could become your habit. And then all of a sudden you're the Sixers. So we don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. We want to play all the way. Now, if the front office is going to make it harder for us to win because certain players aren't available and it's crunch time, people have got to be sitting on the bench, so be it. But even then, when they go out there, AJ Lawson, Jared Rhoden, Jamal Shed, Orlando Robinson, and Jacoby Walter, they want to win and play to their fullest ability while they're out there. And their fullest ability may be enough to win it, just like in this last Orlando game. So we got to be ready for anything. And once again, what are we worried about, Raptors fans? The future is bright. No matter what happens, the future is bright. Brandon Ingram's coming. We're going to get a good draft pick no matter what. And we're going to be a good team next year. So what is the consternation? What is the problem if we win or lose right now? Seriously, I won't be upset if we lose, obviously. And I won't be upset if we win either. And that's what I'm saying to people. We got to be okay and just be happy. We're fans of a team that's on the way up, and we have a very promising future. Future is so bright, I got to wear the shades. That's right. That's right. That's right. Carlos saying, yeah, Fiercey, these guys are media trained. Yeah, they're really savvy. I mean, Scotty has come so far since his rookie year with the media. And man, he's just really confident at this point. I'm really proud of Scott for that because I know just how much he hated the interviews in the beginning in his rookie year. He talked about it a lot on Twitch. And man, it's just second nature now. It's like old hat. It's nothing now at this point. There's no intimidation about it. In fact, he can be more of his true self with them. Before, I felt like he had to put on airs a little bit because he's trying to be this or that. But no, he can be his real personality with the press at this point. If he doesn't like a question, he'll make a frown at them and he'll kind of say something to them. So yeah, I'm really happy about Scotty and his journey with how he handles media. He's really, really developed in that area. Let's just put it that way. Jacoby's an all-star at this already. It's really amazing. Jacoby, the few interviews we hear from Walter, especially after the game the other day, he's just really, really well-spoken and very mature for a 19-year-old. And he's really, really done a good job with the media stuff for sure. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Mike saying, fiercely facts, laugh out loud. The whole team is on the same page. The media can't get in the middle of the team at the moment. That's part of it. And they realize this, pull the strings apart of the team. They're going to try and do it all kinds of different ways. And the team's unified, all for one for all, like the way they should be and the way this an optimal team is. That makes it really hard for them to get their stupid little tabloid storylines and conflict and worrisome kind of stuff. So they're going to try and manufacture shit. They can't do anything with the Brandon Ingram extension because it's already done. So they're going to do some weird stuff with RJ or maybe try and figure out some weird things with Jakob. Although Pirtle piece by Grange this week was very flattering and good for Pirtle coming and staying here. So I commend Michael Grange for his article on Jakob Pirtle this week. Good reporting, Grange. I'll give you points when you do good stuff. It's just when you do the yellow journalism or like the weird, like negative stuff that's kind of gaslighting Michael. We can tell. We're smart. I can tell when you're doing that. But when you report stuff like the article you did on Jakob, the interview you did this week, that was fantastic because you illuminated where Jakob's at with his head as far as with the rebuild and everything and like that. I love that. I forget who it was. I think Darko said it. He doesn't really say that Jakob's an old guy or a veteran because he's cognizant of how fans are saying, well, Jakob's not really fitting in with the young crew, but he doesn't believe that. And in fact, he made it very, he's very much said in his interviews, like, I'm not going to look at Jakob as an older person than the rest of the team because he fits with this team. And I don't want him delineated out in some way. So he doesn't look at him as like a almost 30-year-old guy who's been in the league for 9 years. and says, oh, he doesn't fit with the young core of what we're doing. No, he does. And he does. He really does. And that's the thing. I don't understand. That's once again a media ploy to pull things apart, or a fan ploy to pull things apart when they say, oh, people don't are on the timeline of each other because of age or something like that. Yeah, it's a total tactic. That's right. Fiercely saying him asking Scotty, RJ, and Darko was annoying, fishing for drama or something. Well, the thing is with these reporters, they kind of have one or two questions that they're going to ask, and they will ask each person. That's always what they do. It's not anything weird. It's just that that's the subject that Lewinberg wants to write about. So he's going to ask each individual who comes in that is available the same question. And he just wants to see if they have different answers. Well, they didn't yesterday, did they, Josh? They kind of said the same thing, all three of them. I don't know if he's fishing for drama or anything, actually, guys, was what Fiercey's saying. I don't think he's actually fishing for drama. He just actually wants to know what these guys think about being benched in crunch time as the starters and not being able to get out there and do the work. So, Scotty and RJ, they're like, it's like, as long as we win, it's great. That's what they care about. That's right. Jimmy's here. Good to see the Pope of positivity. Jimmy Pope. He said, I don't think it looks good for LeBron. Bronny's a grown man, and I would be pissed if my dad did this. This is a big boy league. Stuff like that is soft. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could get behind what you're saying there. But also at the same time, I'm not a parent. I don't know. But if I was a parent, I'd be very protective of my child. And I think that's what this is. Something supersede like what you're saying. And in some ways, also what you're saying, Jimmy, is kind of toxic masculinity, honestly. In some ways, it's like Bronny doesn't have the platform that his dad does, and maybe wouldn't be taken as seriously if he said something to him. I don't know what he would say to Stephen A. Smith anyway, because he has no clout at his position in the NBA. But Bron does. Oh, yeah, he does. So in some ways, I don't know. I get what you're saying, and I can agree with it. You want a man to take care of man's business on his own. But also at the same time, if you're a dad and you see your son getting sewered by one individual in particular and you're protective of him, I can see why I would do this. So really good to see Jimmy, the Pope of positivity, in the chat. Carlos saying, yeah, J. Lou is such a clown. He was bitching about the Raptors not picking a lane, and then they did. Now he wants drama. I'm going to be nice to Josh Lindbergh because he was talking to me last night. He likes to opine on Survivor because he's a huge Survivor fan. And on Blue Skies, him and I are going back and forth about Survivor right now. We're not talking Raptors, and I'm bonding with J. Lou on Survivor. In fact, I wrote him a message about the episode that happened this week, and he wrote me back. So I can't get mad at Josh because he's interacting with the Raptor Streak right now on Blue Skies and talking Survivor, the TV show. You know what? Listen, J. Lou is mostly really good, honestly. Now, he will stoop to some of the Grange stuff, like you're saying, gaslighting and trying to pull the team apart. But he's also very fair. I don't know. Maybe his pick a lane thing from earlier this season, and he's also doubled down and said the Raptors need to continue to lose and find ways to lose right now, is annoying. But in some ways, he's directing Tank Nation to act like how they are. But also at the same time, I mean, the intentions are, even with Leo Routens and different people saying we need to lose more, their intentions are good because they want the Raptors to get better because of the draft pick. So in some ways, their intentions are right, even if their methods do not agree with my methods or what I want them to do. So, yeah, I agree. In some ways, Josh Lindbergh can be very much a clown. He can be, but I'm going to be nice to him right now because we're Survivor buddies. Mike said, Bron is trying everything to pass MJ, and it was another achievement, kind of, just not the right one. It's about chips. Okay, you're talking about scoring or yelling at media. I don't know. If it was saying, I would have more respect if LeBron did that to Skip Bayless, who has said way worse about him and his family, shaking my head. Well, we don't know if LeBron hasn't said something to Skip Bayless also. He could very well have. I think that this is just out in public because it happened on the court right in front of everybody. It could very well be that LeBron and Rich Paul and people have been contacting Skip Bayless to shut up on certain things. Either way, I don't want to talk Bron and Bronny at all. Trevor brought up the story at the beginning just because it's NBA news. But once again, I'm a Raptors-centric channel. I will cover some NBA to an extent, but I don't want to go deep on it. So Bron and Bronny is a subject I want to kill right now because it's not worth talking about. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, Skip Bayless probably got a call too. I was going to say that. Mike's saying Skip with the brick wearing Bron's jersey. Laugh out loud. Yeah, Skip is wild. I think that's funny. Honestly, that's fair. You wouldn't be in the public light, and if Bronny's shooting a lot of bricks, well, that's fun. That's fun. Skip Bayless, I won't get mad at him for that. That is trolling, though. That's right. Nako's saying I was big on Nikola who? Jurisic. Nikola Jurisic last year in the build up to the draft. You had me scout him a couple times. And well, we saw him last night on College Park, healthy and playing for the Skyhawks. So he will be playing again tonight for the Skyhawks at Paramount. So he's Nikola Jurisic. You remember him? I remember you telling me about him last year, Nako. Mike's saying Perkins has a lot of bad takes. He's terrible. You know, he's got mostly bad takes. You're right, but often he's right about the Raptors, though. That's the weird thing. He's one of the few guys that'll give us a fair shake sometimes and say something. So I give him a little bit of respect for that. But if in this beef with Barkley, I'm totally on Charles's side. Totally on Charles's side. Let's see. Andrew saying, I'm so happy for BI, man. It feels like he hasn't stopped smiling since he got traded. Yeah, a lot of the footage that came out yesterday of that painting competition, he's laughing and just smiling, and he won that competition. And, you know, there's a funny clip of them getting ready in the back, and Jamal Shed is like doing an accent. He's going like, wee, Jakob Hotel. It's so goofy, man. And Jacoby really does think he painted like a Picasso. Yeah, let's do the Instagram stories. Why not? We're bringing it up. This is what we got to talk about. Kelly Olynyk had an achievement of 8,000 NBA career points. He is one of the few Canadians to ever do that. Congratulations to Canadian Kelly Olynyk on 8,000 NBA career points. That's a huge accomplishment, and we're proud of you, man. We're proud of you. Yeah, he's got some great highlights. He's really fitting in well with the Pelicans. They really like him down there. They like his floor spacing, and his connection with Zion Williamson has been very, very helpful to that team. Eugene Omoruyi's got him dribbling the ball on the side of the court, but I don't understand, man. Eugene, why weren't you closing the game out last night? The Raptors 905 aren't trying to do the same thing the Raptors are. There's no ping pong balls. So why are the Raptors 905 not trying to win, Andrew Jones, by not playing Eugene Omoruyi in the fourth quarter? What the hell happened there? Seriously. I see Eugene on Instagram working out with the Raptors 905 after the game, but where was he in the game at the end of it? I'm just saying. Jonathan Mobo posting that Jamal Shed is stupid for doing his French thing. We. Emmanuel can't figure out how to put the beret on. And yeah, these guys are awesome, man, with their smocks and their little hats. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. But yeah, I love it. I hope J-Mo gets healed up quick and he's back. He's going to be wearing a mask also. So two of our J-Rooks are going to be mask men very, very soon. Let's see. Eric Smith showing off his 2000s cut on his Instagram, getting ready for 2000s night tonight. So he's saying this is what the cut. He has a picture of Sam Mitchell and then him in the background. He's like, this is where he had more flow, but the same sweet beard. There you go. There you go. Good to see Eric Smith celebrating the 2000s. Let's see. Here's a picture of Jamal Shed with Brandon Ingram with two peace signs up. You're right. Brandon is smiling so much. Yeah, man, that guy isn't even like high or anything. He's just smiling. He's high on life. It's not like he's smoking weed and he's just like stoned. He's smiling. No, he's just happy. He's a happy dude. You guys are exactly right. Brandon Ingram is really enjoying being a Raptor. I can tell. But yeah, the stuff in the back is hilarious. Jamal Shed says he thinks he got robbed in the painting competition, that he should have won it instead of Brandon Ingram. Jared Roden is missing his family. He's got a nice picture of his family, and Uncle JJ misses the crew is what's going on there. He's also got some cool pictures of him standing out on a balcony with the fog underneath him. So it looks like he's standing in the clouds. It's very, very cool pictures. Of course, he had a nice fit for the We the World Gala. And yeah, there he is at the gala, Jared Roden. Very, very cool stuff. Good pictures coming in. Toronto Tempo president, Teresa Resch, has got a Monday Girl Summit Toronto Scholarship presented by Toronto Tempo. So they're going to give some scholarships out. It's proud to support 5 deserving recipients with a scholarship-funded ticket for the 2025 Monday Girl Toronto Summit. So, okay, very, very cool. Interesting stuff there. So you can apply now for the Monday Girl stuff. The deadline to apply is March the 12th at noon. So yeah, get it in now if you apply and you qualify. There you go. So lots of good tempo stuff happening all the time. Teresa Resch was speaking at a fireside chat recently also. Jamal McGlure putting a bunch of pictures up about the gala the other night. There he is with a fan there. I'm not sure who that guy is. There he is with our great friend, Monique Lawrence, on Jamal McGlure's Instagram. Yeah, there you go. Monique is getting a lot of pub right now. She's on the official Raptors admin posts right now in different pictures with Terrence Ross and other people. Really, really love Monique being shown on Raptors official stuff like crazy as our super fan. We love you, Mo. And it couldn't happen to a better champion of the Raptor Freak family. We love you so much. There's Jamal showing a picture of Charles Oakley, the legend. Of course, he was spending a lot of time with him yesterday or 2 days ago at the gala. Jamal McGlure and Charles Oakley. Yeah, he probably loves Oak. Oak's probably a big hero to him. So, yeah, there's some cool stuff. There's Jamal and Charles. I love to see that. Let's see. Who else do we got? Let's see. We got the Raptors 905 coming into the game for yesterday. Yeah, it's too bad that they just really didn't do well enough. Too little, too late. You let them get too much of a big lead on them, and you guys couldn't come back. Down by 20 after the first, down by 10 after the first, down by 13 after the second, and then down by 21 at the third, and then they come back and only lose by 3. Really didn't have enough time to make it up and come back and win at the end. RJ Barrett had an event last night that I did not know about. If I had known about it, I would have informed the Raptor Freak family about what was going on. He was out at Square One Sport Check out in Mississauga last night in the evening, and he did a whole meet and greet there. There was a huge amount of people there. They had a whole basketball setup with kids shooting shots on numbers, and RJ was there watching them. And he also did an autograph session from like 7 to 8 p.m. last night. So I apologize, guys. There wasn't really good advertising about this. They may have had a very specific location advertising out of Mississauga that he would be at Square One Sports Check last night signing autographs. But I apologize. I dropped the ball on that and letting you guys know that that's what's going on. Of course, RJ has his new Pumas out, and that's why they had to go out there to Sports Check. He's going to ball out with RJ and Puma at Sports Check at Square One last night. It's too bad I couldn't tell you guys and give you a little bit of heads up, especially people that are out in the 905 that could have gone to that event last night. I feel bad about it because usually I'm good at catching these appearances that the Raptors do out in public at stores, Grady Dick, Scotty, whoever, but I did not catch this one for RJ. I apologize, guys, once again. There's Wubbs holding up his Picasso from the art exhibit the other day. Scotty Barnes did another one of those legend link ups with Subway and Cabby. I love seeing Cabby back involved with the Raptors in this footage. They did the one with Muggsy recently. Now they did one with JYD with Jerome Williams. And those little clips with Scotty interacting with our former Raptor legends are just so gold, man. And I love hearing people like Jerome and Muggsy give Scotty advice on what he should be doing in his career and how he can be better. And I love seeing Scotty interact with them. And he really does have a real air of respect for the Raptors past and alumni. And that's why I know Scotty's a real one, man. And of course, Cabby's hilarious. The questions are always fun. And Jerome Williams is just a great personality. And I love to see him just be himself. And he's just a badass. We love you, Jerome. We love you, Scotty. And we love you, Cabby. How about that? There you go. Yeah, JYD is definitely one of our guys in our history. I'm following Jack now again, guys. I just started following Jack and Leo. I found their Instagrams. I don't know why I wasn't following them already. Maybe they weren't really on Instagram. I don't know. Maybe he just showed up. But yeah, there's Hello Jack, and he's with Jamal McGlure on his Instagram stories right now. There you go. It's 2000s night tonight, guys, at the Scotiabank Arena. So be ready for a nostalgia time machine on Axe 2000s night tonight. It'll be interesting. We'll see. Four Corners will probably be playing some old 2000 jams. That'll be very interesting to see. And there's a game day. It looks like it's going to be a purple game tonight too, guys, because it's throwback. So we're going to see the purple jerseys on the Raptors, the purple front blackbacks, and probably maybe the City Edition court. We'll have to see. But yeah, well, the Raptors are going to be wearing purple tonight. So just so y'all know, that's the color. If you want to go in line with what they're doing, well, wear your purple jerseys tonight. Yeah, there you go. There's Leo putting on blast his Province of Canada gear. He's a model for a new clothing line, Province of Canada. There you go, Leo Routens. We love you, man. I miss your words of wisdom. Will you please just migrate over to Blue Skies, Leo, so that I can do your words of wisdom as a segment on this channel again? Because I ain't going back to Twitter. And I used to love your words of wisdom in the morning to do on this channel. So, Leo, I see you on Instagram now. Can you come to Blue Skies next? Please, please, Leo. Please, please. All right, there you go. There's your Instagram stories for today. The fallout from the arts contest at the gala the other night. That's right. There you go. There you go. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew, TGIF. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Coach Cool Cat is on the home stretch for the work week. And I hope that she's having a fantastic week and has a fantastic Friday also. Cool Cat, I love you. Fiercely saying, yes, Andrew, BI seems to be fitting in perfectly. Yeah. Yeah, he's enjoying it. He's had all, I mean, what's the checklist of different things that has happened in his team? He's seen them come back and win. Rookie hit a big game winner the other night. He's seen the team struggle and fail and also succeed. He's seen the hard work. He's seen the camaraderie. He's seen the communication. He's seen the respect for the coach. He's seeing the way the organization runs things at a top level. He's seeing that he can trust his general manager and his president. What's not the light for Brandon Ingram? Plus, he's getting a global stage in Toronto and the only international team in the NBA. And he could get contracts with advertising in China and Europe, all around the world now, because he's going to get exposed more. So what's not to like for my guy, Brandon Ingram? That's right. He's fitting in perfectly. I love it. I love it. I love it. Nako's saying, Lex, do Tomato Dome on a call-in one day. That was such a goofy show when I did Tomato Dome. And that was such a weird Kensington Variety VIP Club because it was like a riddle game and nobody could figure it out. But yeah, if you go back and watch the old Kensington Variety VIP Club shows, you'll see the Tomato Dome shows, which was a Free Can Friday trivia show, of course. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how I could do the same things that I used to do in the store through this channel on YouTube. It'd be difficult, Nako, but maybe I could brainstorm and figure something out. Who knows? Mike's saying the media scrum confirmed my observations and my video's theories. It's interesting how this will play out. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I mean, listen, we're not trying to lose, but because we want to be a championship team again. But to become a championship team, we might have to lose a little bit. And that's what they were kind of saying yesterday. Cool Cat saying Bobby said it quite frankly. He is concentrating on the ping pong balls after the BI trade. Yeah, I don't think he said that specifically. I don't think he did. He has never said that exactly, Cool Cat. I think you're misquoting him. What he said is we can't control the ping pong balls, so we shouldn't be doing anything with them in mind. That's the only quote I've heard Bobby say this season about ping pong balls. He actually said we could try and manipulate the ping pong balls, but we don't control them. So it's kind of folly to try and control them. That was his stance on the ping pong balls, actually. That's what he said. It's not exactly that. That's what he said at the BI press conference. He said, we can't control the ping pong balls. They're going to be what they're going to be, is what he said. So he's saying, yep, as per the front office, it's all about the lottery balls. That's not right, Reggie. That's not exactly right. He said that they can't control them. So in some ways, it's dumb to try and lose overly for it, is what I'm saying. Because, listen, you can go back and listen to him. Listen to him very clearly. He says the word ping pong balls, but he only really says we can't control them, is basically what he said. Trevor's saying, when you love your kids, you will stand up for them no matter how grown they are. Very protective over my kids. That's what I'm saying. The action there of Braun is what Trevor's saying. He'd do that for his children. Fiercely saying, how much more help do we need to be contenders next season? Do we really need that high of a draft pick? I look at our team, and once everybody's healthy, I see it looks really good. I completely agree with MJ on this. I mean, with Brandon coming in and the really nice development of our rookies and the possibilities of contribution from them, and then maybe a little bit of retooling around on the free agents and the bit players around the team in different ways, we could have a very interesting squad next year that's going to win no matter what. So I agree with this. It's like, I still don't think we need to be a top 5 pick because honestly, it's going to hurt our salary cap more to pay that much for our draft pick. So in some ways, I say if the talent is about the same as Mike has said and many other people have said, from like the 4th pick all the way to the 12th pick, why the hell do we need to have the 4th pick is what I'm saying. If the talent is pretty much the same after those top 3, and I don't really care about getting one of those top 3 because honestly, they're too expensive and they'll hurt our salary cap if we get the top 3. I'd much rather be the 5th or the 6th pick or even less down to 10 because that'll save cost for our franchise and our salary cap, and we'll have more ability to maneuver with free agency instead of getting the number 1 pick and Cooper Flagg. That'll absolutely screw up our salary cap. So that's where I'm looking at it right there. That's why I don't know. In some ways, they understand what I'm saying too, Bobby and Masai. And that's why I'm saying in some ways they're not caring about the ping pong balls as much as you guys think. They really aren't. And we'll see. We'll just have to see how the games play out. We'll just see each game, each moment, and see how it happens. Kareem saying the crocodile tears when a black man kneels quietly during the national anthem saying he's disrespecting our troops. But when fucking billionaires fire tens of thousands of veterans so they can buy another super yacht crickets. No, it's all manufactured and is very racist. Let's just put it that way, Kareem. You know that one of the biggest travesties I'm hearing right now is that they're going to paint over a Black Lives Matter mural in Washington D.C., not far from the Capitol. If you guys didn't think this is a white supremacist presidential group that's in the White House right now, this will tell you right now. They're going to paint over the Black Lives Matter mural at Black Lives Matter Plaza that they named in Washington, D.C. after the Black Lives Matter movement. They're going to paint over the mural that they painted already there. I think they already might have done it. And they're renaming the plaza because they're that fucking racist and they hate equality that much. And then Ben Shapiro's saying that they should pardon Derek Chauvin and let him out of jail right now. So I'm just saying, if a racist acts like a racist, no, they're a racist and they're white supremacists. And Zig Heil from Elon Musk on inauguration day should have told everybody enough to understand that these are white racist supremacists that need to fucking be fucking checked. And they have no business running a government of the United States or a powerful nation like the United States. In fact, they're going to run it to the ground. And they've very overtly shown just how racist they are. And I don't know if people knew that they were going to do that they're going to rename Black Lives Matter Plaza in Washington, D.C. And they've already, I think, painted over the mural. Then you know how they got this done? They threatened Washington, D.C. with withholding federal funds for that district. It's not actually a state. It's its own little entity that, you know, is, in some ways, there's a lot of loopholes and bullshit with the state of Washington, D.C. and what it is. And well, they threatened them basically like mafia would and said, we won't give you any money unless you change the name of this plaza. So, I mean, listen, what you just described there, Colin Kaepernick stuff. Well, listen to what I just said about this and listen to them actually saying they want to possibly release Derek Chauvin. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's fucked up. And honestly, if that pisses people off, they need to get in the streets and they need to start resisting and fighting because there's going to be something that's going to touch everybody's lives, whether it's us up here in Canada and the tariffs and bullshit, that's going to be affected by this very irresponsible, racist ass presidency that's going on right now. And, you know, if this shit makes people mad, good. We need to go out there and fucking defeat their asses, is what I'm saying. Let's see. Infamous saying, I can't wait until you have a call-in show so I can destroy a lot of these false takes and narratives. I had one yesterday. So where the fuck were you then? You really want to come in at me on that? Well, come in on me when I had the call-in show because I had one yesterday, Infamous. You going to threaten me like that? You want to destroy a lot of these false takes and narratives? Are you talking about me or are you talking about them? You're not talking about me, right? You're talking about the false narratives on there. I shouldn't say you're coming at me because you made it ambiguous. I had a call-in show yesterday. Where were you? I had two callers. Trevor called. Stargate called. You could have called. There was a call-in show yesterday. Thursday's the day. Mike saying, we're not trying to lose. We're trying to grow our rookies a lot this year to be ready for next year and beyond. They need 4 quarter minutes in games that are close. We need them to be as good as possible to win. Yeah, I'm with all that. And that's the thing. That's right. The script may be this and this, but Jacoby Walter has his own script. And I'm ready to go with him on his script because it's making a game winner or 3 in a game that maybe we're supposed to lose. So I like that. Yeah. Fiercely saying, congrats, Kelly O. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. And Common Crazy saying, excessive swearing's Friday morning, all. I haven't really cussed that much, have I? I don't think I have. I don't even know what my count is. If I get really highfalutin, maybe I can hire someone to count how many times I swear, and we could have a swear counter. Common Crazy, you want that job? Not gonna say. I remember being big on Eve's Missy and Flip. I remember comparing Sar to Wemby way off with that one. I remember you bringing up Jurisic last year. It may not have been you. It may have been one of the other guys, but I'm pretty sure somebody was bringing up Nikola Jurisic. Maybe it was, you know what? Who it could have been? It could have been Mischief, our guy Mischief, the bass man. I think it might have been him that was really big on Nikola Jurisic. It was either you or him, and they kept bringing him up last year. Yeah, Mike's saying, Bobby said he's focusing on the draft like scouting. Well, either way, I trust those guys. And listen, I want to win. I'm sorry. I could say this over and over again. I want to win. I want to win. I want to win. And I don't care. These teams that we're playing, we should have had them spread out the whole season, and we would have had these games as wins, and our record would be way better. But it really is evil that they did this. Like, they planned it this way. The NBA schedule was planned this way so that when we finally got our easy schedule, in some ways, nobody wants us to win at this point. And it's so insidious. It is whatever. We're going to play it the best we can. And in some ways, we're badasses. We're going to make the best of the season no matter what, even if the schedule of the season was absolutely unfair. to us. Really, really unfair. Mike's saying, Bobby said, oh, yeah, I read that. And Nako's saying, we could use a backup center and maybe one more point guard. I want another center or power forward. I'm not really caring about point guard, but, that may be something that's on the list too. All right, let's see. What else got to do on the channel today? Let me see. Let me go through my tabs real quick. We could do the team stats real quick for the 905 game last night. The Raptors 905 did not shoot as well as the Skyhawks. They were bad at three-pointers too. 16 threes for the Skyhawks, only 11 for the Raptors 905. Free throws were exactly the same, 10 of 13 for both teams. We did get out-rebounded by one. Assists, 28 assists. They got 33. Turnovers, they had way more turnovers. And that's where we could have won, is because they weren't taking care of the ball as well as we were. And points in the paint, 62 points to 50 for them. So, yeah, that was another area where we won there. Let's keep going. We've got also, let's see if there's any news on Blue Skies as far as AJ Lawson or anything like that. I don't see it. I don't see it right here. Blake Murphy, we'll have to see who is going where as far as like Lawson, Roden, and Castleton. Those are the three guys we got to really watch. Raptors Reddit. Let's see what it's saying. They want to know that Raptors Reddit wants to get more open gyms next season, like the squad's too likable. Well, I'll tell you right now, we get a lot of open gyms every season. So don't worry. There'll be open gyms next year, my guy. Don't worry about that. That's right. Okay, here's some news right here on Raptors Reddit. They're saying that they have recalled Jamison Battle and Colin Castleton for the game tonight against the Jazz. So Battle and Castleton will be at Scotiabank and not at Paramount. So those are two very good players. So I'm just saying Andrew Jones is going to have a real hard time trying to win this game tonight. So Castleton will be with the Raptors tonight. It's official as of what I see on here from Raptors Reddit. So, yeah, there we go. There you go. There's the Raptors Reddit check-in. Happy birthday to former Raptors assistant coach Patrick Mutombo. That's right. It's Patrick Mutombo's birthday today. He is 45 today, guys. So happy 45th birthday, Patrick Mutombo. There you go. Let's see. Check out the Kensington Variety VIP Club, as I said before. And also check on your fantasy teams, guys, because, we are still in a fantasy season. And if you have a team, get it in there and get it going. That's right. Fiercely saying, I guess I'm okay with the alleged ethical T word. Just don't make it too obvious by subbing starters with less than 2 minutes in the game and a small lead. That was weird. I mean, I'd rather them do it that obvious. Seriously, I'd rather them be straight up and forward about it than kind of being subversive and underlying about it. So seeing them not play them, it's like, well, that's obvious what they're doing. And in some ways that it allows us to all be kind of off the hook and say, well, if the Raptors don't win, they took all their starters out with 5 minutes to go in the game. And, I'd rather them be kind of overt about it. They've been very underlying with it in years past in Tampa and last year. But this year, I don't care if they're completely outward about it. And like I said yesterday, they can't get in trouble for this because the only way you get in trouble for not playing players is if they don't play at all. And, well, RJ and Jakob are allowed to sit out tonight because of a back-to-back. But if they set out both games, they get in trouble. That's part of it. Scotty and Emmanuel play tonight and they don't play tomorrow night. That's fine too. It's all load management, especially at the end of the season. This is very regular and normal for almost all the teams as far as dealing with it right there. Yeah. Nako's saying, I'm a fantasy riser, 6-1 against it's a complete crap. I've seen that, Nako, that you have risen up to get the 8th spot in the playoffs right now, that you are online to make the playoffs this year if you continue with what you're doing right now. That's awesome. Lex, I was not talking about you. You're talking about basketball. Okay. Yeah, in some ways it's just the phrasing. I should have just figured that right away. I don't know why I'm so defensive. Infamous. I love you, bro. And I'd love to have you call in, seriously. But yeah, we're going to do that every Thursday this summer. And, well, we had 2 days off, so we had another one yesterday. It's just I wish you'd been there, man. I would have taken your call for sure. Fiercely saying, Lex, you probably talked about it already, but how do you foresee the starting lineup next season? Who will be in which position for the 2 and the 3 and the 4? IQ, RJ, BI, Scotty, and Yak? Yeah, I think that'll be our starting lineup. There was a lot of talk, especially with the Raptors report, a guy who came out with the thing on Brandon's usage and kind of figuring it out. There may be a little bit of like kind of thing where there's a push to try and put RJ on the bench because they want to spread out the scoring. And this is kind of like my argument in the past for like why I wanted Gary Trent Jr. to come off the bench or even Grady. Now, that's the thing. Grady's going to be coming off the bench. I mean, they could do a weird thing where they start Grady and they have RJ coming off the bench, but I really think that they want to start their very, very best players and work from that. So I think it will be barbecue Brandon Yak that's going to start for us next year. It's a great problem to have. And also, you got to think about in recent years in the NBA, there's usually like one guy who's not available. So it could very well be easy to maneuver around because, there may be one guy who's out and it's easy for Grady to come and start again because of that or something like that. Some of it is that they're worried about firepower off the bench with having so many good scorers in the starting lineup. And in some ways, you want to like smooth it over into the bench and have somebody off the bench do it. And I've argued for this in the past, but I don't want to do it with this unit. I don't feel like it's right to not start RJ. And if anybody's not going to start, it would be RJ. Trust me. It's not going to be Scotty. It's not going to be Brandon. It's not going to be Yak. And it's not going to be IQ. Those guys need to start. So I'm okay with them starting those five because Jacoby and Grady are going to be really good scoring punches off the bench. And we're not going to have issues with having a drop off from scoring off the bench because Grady and Jacoby will be there to help, and Oshai to a degree also, and Jamal. So it's a weird problem to have. It's a great problem to have. And I'm not upset about it. That's right. Nako's saying I'd probably play Scotty at the 3 and BI at the 4. Well, in some ways, those are just labels. Those guys are going to be out on the court. They're going to be switching around from position to position throughout the game, whether it's like a set thing at the beginning of the game. So, I mean, you could do that. There's nothing wrong with what you're saying. I mean, Scotty could be the 5 even. Jakob could be the 4, and Brandon could be the 3. There's a lot of different ways you could do this. I mean, you could say Scotty's the 1, put Emmanuel at 2, RJ at 3, and Brandon at 4, and Jakob at 5. In some ways, these are just numbers, and they're arbitrary. And they're just 5 guys who are going to take the court and start the game. I mean, that's really what it is. That's why it's so funny to me when TSN or Sportsnet puts up the starters graphic and where they like to slot the players in. It used to be very easy to slot the players. This is the point guard. This is the shooting guard. This is small. They go all over the place now. And you see some really weird ones. Like the person who does that graphic, sometimes I don't think they understand basketball exactly. Like the way they slot in who's the starter here and what, and then especially when they put it against the other team and you're supposed to see the verses. And I'm like, that's not who RJ's playing against tonight because of where they put them across from each other, like point guards, shooting guards, small forward, power forward, center. And I'm like, wait, what? That's not the right matchup for RJ as far as who he should be matched up with from the other team in the starting lineup. So I always get a kick out of that. They put Scott all over the place. For a while, they wanted to put him in that point guard. So they always put him in the point guard spot on the starting lineup. And I'm like, yeah, that's not really true. It never really was true that Scotty was a starting point guard, guys. It never really was. Let's see. Fiercely saying Scotty is good at the 4. RJ off the bench is crazy, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't like it. And I don't think they should do it. I really don't. I think that the thing is that people are going to realize with that starting lineup, they're like, well, there's only one ball. How the hell are you going to get all the shots? Once again, this team is very unselfish. They're going to go to the hot hand or the good mismatch, and they're going to use that as who's going to get most of the shots that night. Quite often it will be Scotty because Scotty is just like that with making mismatches. RJ has good open lanes to run through. He may be more high usage. If there are problems and we're getting kind of stuck in a place where we can't get anything going in half court, well, Brandon may be utilized more to get us out of the problems of stagnation in a half court offense with a zone or something like that. So it's really going to be on a case-by-case basis. And that's why the whole thing about usage is silly because usage is a stat that's measured after everything. And on any given night, the percentages of usage will go up and down for every player. Scotty may get 10-point game, but he doesn't have a very high usage, but he was absolutely key in us winning because he did everything else on the court other than take shots. And in some ways, Brandon and RJ, even though they've been scorers for most of their careers, are going to be more like Scotty in certain ways some nights. There may be nights where RJ only scores 12 points, but he does an absolutely fantastic job on defense and also with passing the ball to other people. And Brandon, listen, he's a great offensive weapon, and we want to utilize him and score a lot. Let's not get it twisted. He has no premeditated goals to just absolutely score 30 points a game every night. If Brandon Ingram's asked to only score 14 and get like 10 rebounds, 2 block shots, and pass the ball, he will do that because he knows it's within the team scheme of things to help the team win. So trying to cram everybody's stats from other teams like the Knicks and the Pelicans into the team now with that starting lineup, that's not an issue. These guys will take the pieces of the pie for any given night that are designated for them as far as what happens in the game. And then afterwards, well, hopefully they have more complete stat lines fleshed out with good stats in the middle, if not a whole ton of points each. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I think that's the problem that a lot of people have wrapping their heads around a barbecue Brandon Yak starting lineup. It's just like there's only one ball. How the hell is all those guys going to score? Well, they're not every night. Some of them are going to do other things. Emmanuel may very well be a more classic point guard on certain nights than shooting so much. And it really is going to be the different kind of, like I've always said, that example is the Plinko board at Price is Right. They put that chip in the Plinko board. It's going to bounce around. And every single peg in the Plinko board is the defense of the other team and what they're showing us and the dead ends of what they're not allowing us to do. Well, that Pinko chip is going to continue to come down and work through the system of Darko's 0.5 offense. Where does that chip land at the bottom? Scotty's slot, Brandon's slot, RJ's slot is whoever gets the best opportunity to score and the highest percentage shot. And that's the best philosophy about it. It's not like, oh, we're going down the court and every time we're isolating Pascal on the side of the court. No, that's really premeditated and easy to predict. The Raptors, the way they play now, is really, really hard to guard because we're coming at them from anywhere. And just imagine if it's those 5 guys that we want to start next year, just how much they have to guard against and try and deal with from all 5 of those individuals. They're all problems. And that's the thing. We just go to the weakest spot and we use that player who has that mismatch. And they are the guy that gets fed that night. And that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, let's see. That's all right. Let me keep going on this. I love to see you guys filled it up a bit more here in some ways. So let's see. Fiercely saying, why Scotty at 3 and not 4? Not looking to argue, just want your rationale and optic. How is that beneficial? Well, it's beneficial. It doesn't make sense because honestly, listen, I always look at the 4 and the 5 as the 2 biggest guys on the court because they're the ones who got to do the rebounding and the rim protection and the shot blocking and, keeping the paint clear. And Scotty is doing that. That is absolutely one of his strengths. He's like down there being very physical and fighting for rebounds. And he's blocking shots now too. So him and Jakob really are the true 4s and 5. Now, Brandon, because of his long, lanky body, can block shots. But in some ways, he's not as good as a positional player down low with physicality to hold people with strength. And that's what Scotty does. So that's why, in some ways, I don't see this slotting this way. It's just a label. Like in some ways, Nako can say that, but in some ways, that's not how it will play on the court because Scotty's the bigger guy. He's going to have to be down there fighting for the rebounds more in some ways than Brandon in the physical sense. So that does that make sense what I'm saying there? It just doesn't make sense. It's not even, I don't think it's beneficial either in that way. I don't think it's a beneficial idea. Now, if we had another big, like let's say they were playing Mobo with Scotty and Yak, then you put Mobo at 5, Mobo at 4, and Scotty can play either 1, 2, or 3 in that lineup because Mobo's doing the 4 work with Jakob at 5. Then you can do more of that. But Brandon's not bigger than Scott, so you can't really do that, and he's not really comparable. So, but Brandon can play 4. Let's just put it that way. Now, if Scott's not there and Mobo's not there and Jakob's out there, and it's Brandon at 4, and RJ at 3, and Grady at 2, and IQ at 1, then Brandon is the power forward in that instant. But he's a power forward more along the lines of like Chris Boucher being a power forward, a long, lanky guy who can block shots, get rebounds, but he may not be as a physical a presence with holding people out of the lane. Does that all make sense? I'm trying to make it make sense here. Yeah. Lex is right. Just numbers as we're skilled in whichever position. Yeah. It's all just organization semantics, kind of like you're the 1, you're the 2. It's all arbitrary, especially with positionless basketball these days. Yeah. Yeah. Stargate saying at Lex, I can bet you the next season schedule is not going to be any better. The league can see what Masai and Bobby are doing with this team, and they're going to do everything in their power to stymie the success. Let them try. Well, in some ways, that's what makes us so much better. And that's what makes us tested and tried and true. And when it gets to the point where we are competing for a championship, we'll be better to compete for it by this. Exactly, Stargate. You're exactly right. Let them try. Now, what are they going to do? Are they going to stack our schedule like they did this year again with a really heavy part that's heavily hard and really easy part we'll have to see. We'll just have to see how it is. There should be a more even distribution throughout the year, I would hope, next year. so that we can have a little bit more of that kind of stuff. We did really good at the beginning of the season, considering how hard our schedule was. Honestly, we really did. Reggie saying Scotty, in my opinion, is better at the four. He's bigger and stronger than a lot of fours. He can be dominant at that end. And it's not even that he's bigger and stronger. He's faster than most of the fours, and he can eat their lunch. You can just dribble around these guys and lay it up. He's been doing that a lot lately. He was just like, this guy's coming at me, giant Jonathan Isaac. You're going to try and guard me with your feet? No, I'm quicker than you. Right around you, lay it up. So it's really that he's faster than most of the fours. That's the real strength right there. Now, if they put a smaller four on him, yeah, he can beat them up and bully them too. So that's the thing. He causes mismatches for whoever guards him. I don't think there's anybody who can truly guard Scotty, like, and be a shutdown on him, because he's either going to be stronger than them or faster than them, because he's got that right combination of those skills in his body. That's right. Let them try and stop Scott. They can't. They can't. Yeah, Smith's saying Scotty, in my opinion, is better at four. He's bigger, strong. Yeah, that's what I just said. Nako's saying BI is bigger than Scotty, so I think he fits more there. Not that that's a big deal one way or another. He's not, though. He does not weigh more than Scotty. And that's the parameter. It's not height. You can't look at height. And even then, I'd argue they're the same height. I mean, Brandon might be closer to 7 foot just slightly than Scotty, but you need to look at weight when you're talking about bigger, Nako. You need to look at weight. That's what you got to look at. Nins is saying, still salty. I couldn't get in fantasy this year. I got to get in next year. You will definitely get one of the spots that's going to be vacated for next year. Yeah, there's a couple of teams that ain't coming back next year for sure. And you will very rightfully get one of those spots, Nins. Yeah. There's going to be some teams that are not returning next year for sure. I'm going to tell you that. You will get one of them. We got your spot already. And play WNBA this summer with us too, because we'll start that one up when the WNBA starts up near the playoffs. So get in on that, and it'll be much easier to get in the fold for the NBA too. If you don't want to do WNBA fantasy, I understand. But we're trying to learn the WNBA more and more as we get closer to the debut of the Toronto Tempo. And in some ways, to play WNBA fantasy, you can learn the players in the league and maybe even scout who we might want to get for the Tempo, is what I'm saying right there. All right, Trevor's got my classic card cue. There you go. Yeah, I do need to do this right now. So let me do this, and I'll come back to get the rest of the chat after that tell right there. Oh, this is awesome. We'll do this one. This one's easy, guys. This is only going to be a 50-point card. It's an easy card. I want to see somebody get this right away. So be very, very quick. Full name answer. Here we go. You guys can see this one. This is too easy. You better know this one right away. In fact, this is going to my personal collection. This is not going to go anywhere else but to the stack of cards I have over there for me personally. This is one of my guys. This is one of my dudes. There you go. Slug Deezy's on it. Of course, that's the great Joe Dumars, McNeese State. Joe Dumars is the head of the officials in the NBA currently today. I love Joe, man. Joe is like one of those, like, very much a defensive specialist kind of player. Man, I love Joe so much. That's right. Slug Deezy's in just before Stargate, and Fiercey, I see you also. But yeah, this is going in my personal collection. I love Joe. You're not going into the cards. I will not bring them. You guys cannot have them. Joe is mine. I'm sorry. Let's see. Fiercey saying, thank you, Nako and Lex and Smooth, for your perspectives. No problem. Once again, a lot of stuff with basketball, usage, stats, all this kind of stuff is semantics. Basketball is basketball. It's a real simple game. You put the ball in the hoop, and we can make all kinds of terms and positions and different ideas about stuff. And it's really just to organize plays and say this is where you stand for this as the center, and this is where you stand as the pivot, the point guard, stuff like that. It's for organization, but in a lot of ways, it's still just 5 guys playing basketball against five other people on the court, 5 women playing 5 women, whatever. It's just basketball in some ways. That's what it is. Stargate saying, so for all the stankers who want Keith Van Horn on this team next season, if the Raptors draft him, does he come off the bench or start? Who's going to go to the bench for the rookie? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I wouldn't start Cooper Flagg over that starting lineup we got set up for next year. Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Jakob Poeltl in that order, 1 through 5. And Cooper Flagg's coming off the bench. I'm sorry. He wouldn't start for us. Some people would say, you're crazy. He's not going to start. This is part of the problem why people want RJ off the team, is because if they're Flagg enthusiasts, they're saying, well, there's no starting spot for Cooper Flagg on this team right now. So RJ's obviously got to go. That may be part of the energy that's about RJ right now. This is why I don't care about getting Cooper Flagg. In some ways, he's more headaches than he's worth. Seriously, he really is going to be more headaches than he's worth, as far as having to pay him and having to figure out where he goes in the whole slotting of everything. And, with a first pick in the draft, a lot of people are saying you have to start him no matter what. Well, the Raptors in some ways aren't set up to start that guy next year. We really aren't. We really, really aren't. Ninja saying, I put RJ on the bench when I play 2K. He demolishes the opposing team's bench every single time. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. If he wants to be like Ricky Pierce 2025, if they talk to RJ and they say, look, we're not going to start you, but we're going to let you get like 25 points a game still because you're going to do all the scoring for the bench. He might be into that. And if Darko and Masai and Bobby decide that's the way they want to do things and RJ's in with it, I'm okay with that. It's not like I have designs on what they should do that I get so mad at them. It's more like I want to see what they're going to do next. I'll react to it. And we'll see if it's successful or a failure or not. It's really kind of how it is. That's the problem. There's so many fans that want to direct the team and tell them what to do. And this is the crazy thing. I have a lot of knowledge. I could probably direct them in certain ways, but I'm not trying to do that because I know I don't know better than them. And I wish more Raptors fans understood that they don't know better than them, just like I do. In fact, I may know better than you guys, and I still know that I don't know better than them. So that's what I say to these people that are telling the Raptors front office what to do and what they need to do and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. Smith's saying Ingram can be a weak side shot blocker, but can't be a 4, in my opinion. Yeah. I think it's just really muscling up. You got to figure, man, the person that's playing 4 might have to guard Zion Williamson. And you want Scotty on those kind of assignments. The person that has 4 may have to be switched onto Jokic in different ways, or it's stuff like that. Beef stew. Think about people in this league that play 4 and big and muscles and how they are. And in some ways, Ingram's good for, like you said, a weak side shot blocker. He's good for a rebounding, and he's good for long arm defense. Eagles, he can be a disruptor. In some ways, I think that one of the things that Ingram's going to improve on with the Raptors is deflections. Just like RJ's getting a whole bunch of deflections now. In some ways, Brandon may be redirecting more of his energy that would have just went into trying to score like crazy for his team to carry into all-round play. And that allows for him to be Eagles, getting his hand into things and causing the ball to be turned over, and then they're running down the court. And then you add in that in half-court sets, Brandon's real easy to set up with really good turnaround shots and offensive stuff that's going to help the Raptors in the situations where they stagnate and just can't buy a basket. Sometimes when they go zone on the other side, we don't remember we can go to the center lane and get shots until Chris Boucher does it. Well, Brandon can zone buster real easy with his skill set and what he does. So that's kind of what I see right there. Yeah, you agree. Like Tracy McGrady. Yeah. There's some similarities there in a young McGrady and a Brandon Ingram body type. Yeah. Brandon is stronger, though, but he's not that strong. You can look at him. He's very skinny. In some ways, he's very much the same body type as Chris Boucher. And we got to remember that. And as much as Chris Boucher can play the 4, well, Brandon's probably the same as far as that. Nako's saying BI has an inch on Scotty, but Scotty has 40 pounds on him. All right. It makes sense. Makes more sense for Scotty at the 4. It's really about low stuff. It's not even about height. I mean, you could look at Chuck Hayes for the Raptors. He was 6'7". He played center. And it was all because he is strong and built and very, very heavy. And that was why Chuck Hayes, one of the guys that Rudy Gay got traded for, came to our team, and he played center for us at 6'7". Right there, man. That's crazy. Yeah. Fiercey saying, I will do WNBA fantasy again. I hope you will play fantasy every time we do fantasy on whatever NBA or WNBA. Fiercely, I really enjoy you playing in it, and I've seen your journey as a fantasy rookie over the years. You're getting better and better and better. I love it. It's so good. Let's see. Trevor J saying they want Drake to perform by the halftime show for the FIBA World Cup final. Okay, all right. Unsolicited Drake information. All right. I guess he's still Raptors. I guess I got to talk about him. Most saying W Stream, W Vibes, go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Free Crew strong forever. Just helping Lex them in the comments. I appreciate you, Mo. You're fantastic. I know you've had such an amazing week, and I love seeing you so ensconced in the Raptors culture as of this week with the gala. You're a bona fide super fan, and you are a leader for our team here on this channel. And I appreciate you as a representative of what we do here. Seriously, I know in Monique's heart, she always carries the same kind of values that I have for this team. And that's to see them be successful and have all the best things happen to them. And that's why her and we're not going to differ on opinion very often, because we have the purest of intentions in our heart for the team that we love. And that's the thing I love about that. Neil, peace to you, my guy. That's right. Fiercely saying, Drake at FIVA halftime. Is it safe for him to step out now? I visualize the reverse of Homer lurking in the bushes. I don't know, man. I'm not even trying to think about Drake too much. It's like he's going to try and pop up in different places and stuff like that. He's on SGA's Instagram right now, actually. He took his butter shoes and put them up on his face, and SGA has reposted Drake with SGA's new shoes. And in some ways, that's an advertisement for SGA shoes, really, more than promoting Drake. But yeah, let's see what else. W Stream, thank you, Fiercely. I appreciate that. Stargate saying, laugh out loud. I see Nins just proved the point I made yesterday with my call. This is real life, not a video game. There you go. There you go. All right. And thank you for putting me on blast with Monique, MJ. Fantastic. All right. Let's wrap it up real quick. Let me do the rundown real quick. We got 15 minutes till 2 hours. I'm going to get done on time. First of all, the injuries for the Raptors today are as such. Chris Boucher had his wisdom teeth pulled 2 days ago, so he's probable. He had that dental surgery. We'll see if he plays tonight. I'll tell you right now, it's very likely if he is available to play, he's going to get on the court tonight because we are short-staffed with injury right now. Ochai Agbaji is ruled out with his ankle injury. He is still not back, but I'll tell you this, he may be back within the next week. I'm going to say that. He may be back. I don't know if he'll be back tomorrow either, but he could be back maybe around Monday or the game after that. RJ Barrett and Jakob Poeltl are going to take rest days today on the first night of a back-to-back. They'll be available tomorrow, but they're going to take the night off, so there will be no RJ and no Yak tonight, just so y'all know going in. Jonathan Mobo is out also tonight because of that nose injury he took in the Orlando game when he got hit with an elbow by Wendell Carter, that bastard. And so Jonathan Mobo is not available for tonight. Brandon Ingram is 2 weeks away from another report on him, so he will not be around at least for another 2 weeks. Grady Dick, same thing. His injuries are substantial. The hyperextension of his knee, and then also, you know, the issue with getting hit in the face and this hitting his head. So Grady also has a tailbone injury. So he's got multiple injuries right now. Grady is going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. So he's on the same schedule as Brandon. So we're not going to have Grady for a while, and that's going to mean way more Jacoby Walter, guys. Shamshay is out for the season, as of course. So I'm speculating the starting lineup for the Raptors today will be Emmanuel Quickley, Jacoby Walter, AJ Lawson, Scotty Barnes, and Jakob Poeltl. Oh, no, not Jakob, and Orlando Robinson in the starting lineup. So we're going to be missing 3 starters along with Ochai Agbaji and Jonathan Mobo tonight. So, yeah. And hopefully Chris will get back in the game. So we could see some more Lawson and Roden along with Robinson and Shed and Walter. On the other side of things, Utah does have extensive injuries also. They're doing kind of a similar thing to us. Keontae George is listed as questionable due to illness. Jaden Springer is questionable. Laurie Markkinen, John Collins, and Jordan Clarkson are all out for sure. And Taylor Hendricks is out also. So I'm speculating that the starting lineup for the Jazz tonight will be Isaiah Collier, Colin Sexton, Cody Williams, KJ Martin, and Walker Kessler will be the starters for their team tonight. The referees for the 9:05 game first at Paramount Fine Food Center 7:30 tip against College Park Skyhawks. Biniam Maru is the crew chief. Ian McClenny and AJ Ganelli are the rest of the crew. For the Raptors game against the Jazz at Scotiabank, Mark Lindsay is our crew chief. He favors the Raptors. Jason Goebel is the referee. He favors the Raptors. And Sayesh Mehta is the umpire. He favors the Jazz. So those are your 3 refs for the ref. The ref crew's not bad tonight. My 3 stars of the game for the 9:05 loss last night. The newly acquired Colin Castleton was 27 points for the 9:05 in a losing effort. Evan Gilliard, the second star, and Eugenio Maroi was my 3rd star of the game. All right, you guys. Thank you for watching the Raptor Freak stream this morning, the preview for tonight's games. I'll be back tomorrow with reaction to both games and another preview because we're going to be playing the Wizards tomorrow night also on the second night of the back-to-back. So we'll see. Scotty and Emmanuel most likely will be benched tomorrow, much like RJ and Yak are benched tonight. So we'll have to see how that goes. Yeah. Infamous saying this move, RJ to the bench, is crazy. RJ has been our most consistent player this year. You don't put that level of consistency on the bench. That's insulting. You know, I agree with you normally, and I think in today's NBA mentality, that's totally true. But in the old school, this wouldn't be. This is the crazy thing. When I started watching basketball in the 80s and into the 90s, the 3rd best scorer on each team was the 6th man. And I keep bringing up Ricky Pierce because in some ways, Ricky Pierce was the leading scorer of the Milwaukee Bucks for a few years, and he didn't start. He was the 6th man. And he came off the bench, and he still managed to get like 20 to 30 points every single game. So in some ways, the stigma of starting and not starting is stupid, but also at the same time in the new age NBA, this is kind of how it is. But back in the day, this wouldn't have been a problem, especially if RJ was still averaging about 25 points a game, even if he wasn't starting. So it's a weird thing. I get what you're saying, and I agree. I don't want him to come off the bench. I think he deserves to start. But if you want to go really old school, like a Ricky Pierce, RJ could be like Ricky Pierce. That's the thing. I'm just saying. And it could be helpful to the team. So I see that argument on that one. So Fierce is saying, by the way, Orlando Magic lost again yesterday. Yeah, they're horrible. And in some ways, you guys are losers trying to blame the refs and the fouls for why y'all lost the other day. No, y'all are so bad. You lost to our bench with your starters. And you had every opportunity to do it. And Franz, you missed a layup too, man. You can't blame us for that, bro. You missed a layup in the first game. In the second game, you let a rookie beat you. So come on. It's just own up to your failure instead of trying to blame other people for your own failure. That's what I got to say on that. Yeah. Stargate saying no Lowry, no Keontae, no or Claxton for them either. Yeah. Yeah. They don't have Keontae George, probably. He's questionable. He could play. They definitely don't have Lauri Markkanen, John Collins, Jordan Clarkson. Yeah. And they're more than likely not going to have also who's the other one? Let me see. Hang on. They're not going to have Markkanen. They're not going to have Collins. They're not going to have Clarkson. They're probably not going to have Springer or George also. And they don't have Harkless either. So, yeah, they have major injuries right now. So that none of their main players are there. We need to beat the Jazz. ESPN predictor is saying we have a 71% chance to win this game. They are only 29%. So we're the favorite. We're at home. We have a favorable ref crew. And I'm just saying, Jacoby Walter's a baller. If it has to be Jacoby and the rookies playing against the Jazz and their counterparts, they're going to beat them, and the Raptors will win. And that's what I want right there. That's it. Fiercey saying, last question, Lex. What happened to Utah? Less than 2 years ago, they were solid in the post with Spider. They were solid in the post Spider Gobert era. Did hosting the All-Star cause this? Just kidding, but wondering what went wrong. Well, not paying close attention to them. I would say this. Sometimes when toxic players are on a team and there have been a problem on the down low for a while, just clearing them out will give you an uptick and make you look good all of a sudden. And I think that's what it is. I think that they knew Gobert, and I think he's still a problem for Minnesota at this point, honestly. Is just not a good player on a team. I think Rudy Gobert is a farce in some ways. He's a very good defensive player, but he's a joker, and not a joker like Joker. He's just a jokester. He's just like somebody who doesn't take his life seriously enough. And in some ways, I can tell that energy from him. But him being such an important player on a team, he can be like a little bit of a hindrance. It's very much like Embiid. He's a very powerful, good player, but in some ways, he's just not right for winning. And Gobert and Mitchell getting traded out in that haul that Danny Ainge got for them, there's a lot of infusion of new players. And honestly, all those guys were trying to get in on something to be a part of the new Jazz and get their spots, like Markkanen and Clarkson and all them. And I think that there was a honeymoon period where they were all very happy. The toxic people were gone, and there was a little bit more of addition by subtraction. And they had good vibes, and they were trying to work it out. But then the reality of the low level of talent they have on their team sunk in, and their record has shown since. So I think that's what it is. There was a honeymoon period, and it's worn off is basically what it is right there. Yeah. Yeah, Ricky Pierce was a bucket, or like Vinny Johnson, even better than Vinny Johnson. Because think about the way that Pistons team was oriented. It was Isaiah was the leading scorer as the point guard, and Joe Dumars was a defensive guard, but he scored a lot too, especially later in his Pistons career. And Vinny Johnson was just instant offense off the bench, and he wasn't really averaging a lot. He'd just get from 10 to like 20 points, depending on how much he cooked and heated up. Ricky Pierce, though, was a solid 20 every game, and they expected him to come out bombing threes and being the primary scorer for those Bucks teams. And it's crazy because the Bucks had good starters, too, a lot of cases. They had people like Terry Cummings, Dale Ellis, and different people that were scoring off the starters, but Ricky Pierce would still be the leading scorer for their team off the bench. So, I think that's the kind of thing right there. There you go. You're welcome, Fiercey. I appreciate you guys. I know you meant Clarkson instead of Claxton. It may have been a spell correct for all I know right there. Thank you, Raptor Freaks, for joining me this morning for a preview. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy the game tonight. Win or lose, we can't lose. And that's what every Raptor fan should be. Once again, I say take your cue from the team. And if the team are dejected and down because they lost a game, well, that's how you should feel. If the team is jubilant and celebrating because a rookie hit a game winner against the Orlando Magic, well, if you're not in line with those emotions, what are you even doing as a fan of the Raptors? Because you got to ride or die with them and go through the journey with them. And if you're not reacting the same way as them, well, your priorities ain't right. And you may need to search your soul for exactly what your fandom is and how you stand with the Raptors. Seriously, if they win tonight and there's a whole bunch of people crying and whining and upset about it, well, you're not online with what the team wants and what the team inside wants. And in some ways, it's not necessarily about the draft. I'm telling y'all, this schedule is too easy. And our team is playing at a high level. We need to win. And seriously, it in some ways would do us more injustice and damage in the long run if we don't try to win right now. Seriously. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good Bucks team. That Milwaukee team was a playoff team around that time too. Yeah. All right. I appreciate everybody watching. I'll be back tomorrow 9:30 with the reactions. That's right. Larry Kristowiak. Wow, you're going old school right there. You know what? I'm gonna give you a dunk for that. I'm gonna give a dunk to Stargate for bringing up Larry Kristowiak. That's a name for a blast from the past. We haven't got him as a classic card, I don't think. We probably will at some point, probably. All right, where's Stargate? Stargate is right there. Boom goes the dynamite. He's at 36. So that is his 12th dunk of 2025. There you go. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's go, Raptors. Let's go 905. Win your games. I don't know if 905 has a chance, but the Raptors definitely do. And I hope they do win.